What up, sports fans all over the world? It is your boy, Mac the Giants fan. I'm here with my guys, the Horsemen, Zion Zenith, Adam Costas, and y'all know the one, the only NYG Jeffy T, right up there in the corner spitting that hot fire. This is the Premium Takes Podcast. Let's go!
Yo. Well, welcome back, guys, to another Friday night. We worked a long week. We're back at it again on another episode of Premium Takes. And yes, Daniel said it perfectly. Happy Friday to the gang. As we got the Knicks going against the Pacers right now, leading by about 10. What's up? No Mets, no Jets. I know you see Brunson in the thumbnail. I know you're pretty excited about that. But yeah, without further ado, guys, you know me. I'm Zion Zenith, like Max said. He's Mac the Giants fan. That's Adam Costas, and we're gonna get into it today. But before we do, I just have to ask the boys, how's their week been? Are you guys happy that it's the weekend? Any plans this weekend? I'll let Mac answer first, and then pass it over to Adam.
I ain't got no plans for the weekend. Just gonna try to relax, get some rest in. It's gonna be rainy, nasty weather anyway, so hopefully I can just get some much needed rest. Been working my ass off. Been a grind the last couple of weeks, man. But I'm here. I apologize for last week. I do want to apologize to you guys and to the audience. I dropped the ball. I straight up overslept and I just didn't get up. And I do
It's okay,
apologize for missing
man.
the show for what was really not
It's all
any real
good.
excuse
Listen,
other
we
than just
forgive you.
being tired as hell.
Listen, we forgive you, man. We forgive you. It's
But
we steer the ship. The show goes on, as they say. I'm sure there'll be a day or two in the summertime where I may not be able to make the show, and you guys will carry the show. So, it is what it is, man.
Absolutely. How was your week, Adam? Prepared for the weekend?
Well, Mother's Day is coming up. Always gotta, take a shout out to all the moms out there, and you know, just say thanks to mine, and it's been a long grind, and we're here. I can't believe we're in almost halfway through May. It's the year is flying by. A lot going on in sports, and let's go.
Absolutely. Well, without further ado, guys, this is going to be today's layout of today's show. We're going to talk about NBA playoffs since
oh,
that is the relevant topic at the moment right now. Then we're gonna move into probably talking about the new acquisitions that the Giants landed in Allen Robinson from the Pittsburgh Steelers, former Chicago Bear. Then we're gonna probably touch on, just the Giants in general. Us as Giants fans, we always want to talk about them. And then we'll probably go into like the NFL. If you just when we talk about the Giants, I'll kind of be like open conversation for the NFL. But guys, I do want you guys to know, listeners, we are going to be touching in on other sports too this football off season. Like we said in previous episodes, previous Premium Takes podcasts, that we are going to touch on the Olympics. But the show is going to get more structured with more topics. We usually have about six, and I know these past couple of nights, or not even nights, past couple of months, we only had two or three topics. But don't don't worry, we're gonna come with more juice. But since the NBA is in full effect right now, it is gonna be a longer show about the NBA today. And then as football season kicks up and the Olympics go on and hockey and all that fun stuff, we're gonna get into that as well. But without further ado, I do want to start with Mac, being that he wasn't here last week's episode. And I do want to ask him before we get into the bracket and before we get into fully talking about the NBA playoffs, what series for you in the first round was the most excited to was the most fun and most exciting to watch?
well, for me, it was the New York Knicks and the Philadelphia 76ers. I mean, they just got it in. That series, I thought was for sure was destined for 7 games. I mean, it fell a game short of that, but at the end of the day, that series was compelling. It was just fun to watch. It was entertaining. Those two teams were going back and forth, and I mean, the Knicks have just been a fun team to watch. Man, I'm not even like you guys know, I'm not a big NBA fan whatsoever, but the Knicks are like restoring my faith a little bit just watching the way they play, the way they grind, man. So shout out to the Knicks, man, and just really great first round series with the Sixers.
Absolutely. Shout out to the Knicks. All right, guys, let's begin our NBA talk. We got the Thunder going against the Mavericks, the Timberwolves going against the Nuggets, the Celtics going against the Cavaliers, and the Pacers going against the Knicks. And I say we just start off and go backwards, being that the Knicks are playing the Pacers right now. The Knicks are leading the series with a 2-0 lead, and they're looking pretty comfortable. When you think about the Pacers, the first body that comes to mind is Tyrese Hallenberger. But honestly, guys, I have to say the Pacers tonight has honestly, for what I've seen, has been playing a little bit better than what they have played and what they put out against the Knicks in the past. Pascal Siakam hasn't really been the best number two, the best scorer player that he once was this season. He kind of took a step back, and I think that really hurts the team. Now you do have Miles Turner that is, playing a bigger role, but at the end of the day, what the Indiana Pacers envisioned with Tyrese and Pascal Siakam on the floor at the same time is not what, for me, what I really seen. Like, I get it, they're in the playoffs, I can't knock them too much, but I really think this series is really going to come down to role players. I want to see Aaron Neesmith. I want to see Andrew Nemhort. I want to see Obi Toppin off the bench like he did in the series against the Bucks. I want to see these guys actually go and have big games because I honestly think that's the only way that you're gonna beat the Knicks. If it was up to me, I have the Knicks winning in 5, winning in 6. Maybe the Pacers can steal a game here or there, but with Siakam playing the way he has been playing, not really showing up. Like, I get it, he's in the game tonight, guys, but he's not really showing up. And then Obi Toppin off the bench, he's kind of a come and go. TJ McConnell off the bench is kind of, you get him and then you don't, you get him and then you don't. Inconsistency is what's been hurting the Pacers. And then you have the Knicks on the other side that just been playing long minutes, the damn full game since like the All-Star breakup, before, ever since Randall went out, basically. And yes, the Knicks have to overcome a lot of injuries, but they're tough. And to be honest, guys, they're reminding me a lot of my team because we play tough. And Bronson reminds me a lot like Jimmy Butler. The way this guy been performing in the playoffs is absolutely amazing. You said it perfectly. They're way too physical for the Pacers. Pacers are playing no defense, but don't want to hog the mic. I do want to open up the floor to you guys, and I am going to start with Mac again, being that he missed last week's episode. I want to get his thoughts on a lot of things, and then we're going to pass it to Adam and his bomb takes always. Go right ahead, Mac.
Well, like I said, right now we're watching this game. It's a great game three right now. We're getting right now 99-98 Knicks in the fourth quarter of this basketball game right now over the Pacers. This game's been back and forth. This game has been great. It's been compelling. The superstars are definitely showing up in this one. Hallenberger is out here doing everything he can to keep this Pacers team alive, man. And then Dante DiVincenzo right now for the Knicks right now is absolutely cooking, man. Just on fire right now. But the thing about this Knicks team that's like, what I was talking to a guy, my friend of mine at work, man, coworker, and it was like he's not a big believer in the Knicks. He thinks they're playing too many minutes and it's just not going. They're not going to be able to hold up. And it kind of seems like they could be potentially wearing down
Kind of
Jalen
what I feel
Brunson,
as
as
well.
you know, right now playing through this game a little bit hobbled. But at the end of the day, here's what I'm looking at when I see this New York Knicks team. There's just no team that's going to outwork them. No one's going to out hustle them. They're going to make you earn everything you get against this team, man. So you're not getting anything for free against this basketball team. Nothing's coming easy, man. You're going to have to work your ass off. A player like Josh Hart, he'll probably never be the best player on the court ever, but you're not going to out hustle Josh Hart. Josh Hart is an animal, man. Right now, he's just taking over the glass. I mean, he's just killing the Pacers on the glass, and it's throughout this entire series. Another big night rebounding, like 13 rebounds, I believe he has right about now already in this game. It's just out of control with things that Josh Hart is doing, man. 15 rebounds in this game actually right now. So this is just a team that can beat anybody just because of the way they work, man. It's just, and they're a good complete team. They don't necessarily have all the big name stars all these other teams, a lot of the teams around the league have, but they just got they got the heart, man. Like he said up here, they
Tudo in
got
the
that New
house.
York grit, man, and they just out there balling, man. Like and they work so well together, and it does help that you have 3 year core guys all played in college together as well. So these guys are very familiar with each other, but yeah, they just become a really fun team to watch, man. And I just can't say enough good things about them. Like I said, they got me actually feeling somewhat interested and invested in the NBA again right now, man. The New York Knicks, man. I'm really proud of what this team
Hell
is
yeah, I
doing, man. They
like
are
that.
really
Hell yeah.
putting up some
Mac
special
watching the
things, doing
NBA. Adam,
some
let's
special
get it.
things.
I just love the way you're watching the NBA. I didn't want to interrupt you. Finish your take, Mac.
Oh no, I mean that's about all I got, man. I just like this team right here. Like I said, this is a workhorse team, man. Like I said, they work very hard, and a team like this is scary about it is that just you're not going to out hustle them. So you got to just everything else has to work for you when you're playing against this basketball team right now, because you're not outworking them. That's not going to happen. It's just not. They're going to continue to work hard. They're going to continue to grind. Josh Hart literally just sat down in this game for a few minutes for the first time in like 3 games, where this man has played every single minute of the game, man. And Brunson ain't that far behind DiVincenzo the same way. These guys are grind. These guys are putting out 46-minute efforts, man, a night, and it's amazing, man.
I love it. Alrighty, Adam, go right ahead. And then after this, I want you to get into our next game, which will be the Cavaliers, I believe we were talking about next. But let's talk about the Knicks Pacers, Adam.
Fantastic series, old school feel. It's bringing you back to the rivalry of Reggie Miller and those Knick teams because of the pressure that's on. What I will say is this: the defense of the Knicks has really been the key factor for them going forward. In game one, there was a moment in time where the Pacers had come back and started to take the lead and were going band for band or bucket for bucket with this team. And at one point, the Knicks shut them down and went like on a 7-0 run. And basically, that's what kind of pushed the Knicks over the top because they were on the ropes and the Pacers were running up and down the floor, had them looking tired. And the Pacers got young. They turned the ball over. The Knicks made shots. They scored points when they needed to score points. Those type of things happen for the Knicks. They do, like Max said, outwork you every time. And this is what you expect out of a Thibodeau team, okay? When he was hired, I said it to friends of mine. I said, this is going to be the best coach the Knicks have seen in a long time. And people looked at me like, oh, it's going to be like every other Knick hire and fail. I said, no, this guy knows how to run a basketball team. He's got them believing. Brunson is a guy. He is a dog. He is what we call a game changer, okay? You want to talk about a superstar? This is what a superstar does. They take over the game. They get injured. They come back, and they dominate in the fourth quarter. That's what Brunson did, okay? Josh Hart, he's what we call a glue player. Love this guy's heart. The one thing I love about him is he said in an interview, he said, this is not hard. This is not hard. He said, I don't, make roads. I don't build buildings. I don't do any of that type of stuff. This is all fun. This is not hard for me. I feel for the people who have to get up and do all that work. So 48 minutes to him, that ain't nothing but fun. And he's the type of guy that gives you the energy. And the good thing is he's scoring too. He's not just one-sided in the game. He's actually putting in 20-point efforts a night. DiVincenzo, we knew what he could do when he was playing with Golden State. That was a great addition for the Knicks. He really spreads the floor, and that allows Brunson to do. Why wouldn't it be his style of play? His style of play is what a superstar is. Okay, the fact that he can bounce off players, throw the ball up, like people need to go back and watch Allen Iverson. Okay, Allen Iverson was in people's bodies, throwing shots up, taking over games. Like Brunson's doing that type of stuff. Okay, and also putting his team in a position to score points. This guy is doing it all from the point guard position. This is like you go watch Jason Kidd. When he took over games, he didn't know his score. He did other things. Well, that's what Brunson does. And not for nothing, his presence alone on the floor allows the Pacers to have to play the wire to wire, okay? The Pacers, the problem...
That's an offensive foul!
They don't have a... Well, there's Mac.
I'm sorry.
Mac, Mac got a little excited there. See, the Pacers, you knew the Pacers were going to come and bring it at home, man. You knew they were going to come play. I don't think his style of play is boring. See, the thing about the Pacers is they need to set you up with a pass. They're going to pass a lot. They're trying to get the best shot. Think of that old Dallas Maverick team that won the finals against Miami. What do? They didn't really outwork Miami. They just outpassed Miami, which made Miami have to defend end to end, which is going to leave you one-on-one or eventually a double team somewhere, and somebody's open as long as you keep passing. But when they get out of that element, and the Knicks have done a great job in the series of kind of getting the Pacers out of their game, where they're playing full press defense the entire way, so making these Pacer team work for every shot and every point. And like you said, Siakam, he's brought in here, but what he lacks, the problem with Siakam is if he's not giving you defensive rebounds or block shots, he has to be giving you offensive minutes and offensive points. He's doing neither. So right now you have a guy right now who's in a slumping at the wrong time, which they brought him in. The whole announcers were like, hey, they brought him in for the championship experience. And the guy's missing free throws down the stretch in crucial moments of the game. And to me, I think what Rick Carlisle needs to do is play McCollum 48 minutes because he is giving Brunson a really hard time up and down the floor defensively. Yes, you give up the scoring with the other kid that they have behind him. But if I were Carlisle, my coaching would be, listen, I'm putting the starter on the bench just for the series, not saying this is a demotion. It's just you're better off right now coming off the bench and giving us scoring minutes than being a starter with this guy's on the floor. Then when McCullough comes off, who he can also dish it and hit a couple shots here and there, now you can bring that guy in. You can rotate. There's so many things that you can do if they start to really get coaching. This is where I love playoff basketball because the great ones know how to use their bench, know how to manipulate their roster. Dallas had it when they had Jason Terry, right? And they also had who was their point guard at the time? I forget who the point guard was with them, but they would run up and down the floor together. I don't know. They used to have the Jet and Jason Kidd playing together at the same time, and they won. So they have a guy who can pass and then a guy who can hit threes, right? And then you could put, Kidd at the 2 and Jet at the 1. You had so many things you could do, and I think McCullough gives them the energy they need. And defensively, this is what you need to play against the Knicks: is defensive rebounding, guys that are going to disrupt other players' shots, being pesky. What is a good defender in football, right? A good defensive back is a guy that doesn't always necessarily get interceptions, but he's on you like glue. He's knocking the passes away. He's making it more difficult for the quarterback to make that pass. Well, that's what McCullough does. Now, I know a lot of people think, sometimes you just got to go with a hot hand and say, listen, this is our lineup. The guy, I forget who the guy is with the dreads that's playing as their center. He's a good player. He's a rim protector. What happens is you lose scoring with him, so you've got to figure out a different way. So it really is a decent chess match. Tibbs has done a great job with the Knicks. Hopefully, they don't get burnt out. But like I told you, look at Boston right now. They choke artists. That's what they do. Boston doesn't have the grit that the New York Knicks have. And if the Knicks play the way that they play tonight, they're going to be going to the NBA Finals again, because I just don't think anybody in the East is going to play like that. Now, when they get to the Western Conference, that'll be a different story. They're notorious for running up and down the floor. And a lot of these young guys are playing, they're young. They're, like you meet OKC. Let's say OKC sweeps, right? Let's say they absolutely wipe the floor with their team, right? They run up and down the floor. That's one of the things that they do. They're young. They have springs. That's what they do. They take shots. They'll pull up and shoot. The Knicks are a defensive team. They try to grind you out, make you inch your way down the basketball court. And that takes a toll on you if you get run out the building. So it's something to think about as they go forward, but I really do believe if they get through the Pacers, they're going to the NBA Finals.
Well said, well said. Alrighty. I'm going to have to disagree with that statement. Now, a lot of Knicks fans, like I said, we lost a lot of our community. You should have seen last week. I started talking bad about the Knicks fans, and 75% of people left. I will say this: I think Max Friend is what I feel the same way. I mean, like they've been playing long minutes since the All-Star break. I mean, like Boston is not a fully healthy team right now, and I know a lot of teams aren't. But what I will say is, we sneaked the game against Boston, and it looks like the Cavaliers sneaked the game against Boston too. Boston is going to come back and fix this mistake. And one thing that I'm worried about with the Knicks is exactly what Max Friend said. Losing a stream when it really counts. You have Brunson, right? Brunson needs to play damn near perfect against a team like Boston. If you look at the Cavaliers, who does the Cavaliers have on roster? You go down the list, the name after name after name after name, right? Even someone like Max Strus, who comes in from Miami and can put down threes in crucial moments. You know what I'm saying? You got Jared Allen, a nice center. You got Darius Gordon and Mobley that performs at high levels at times. And you got the All-Star and Donovan Mitchell to round it up. You know what I'm saying? So they have a team. They have a team. But if you really think about Boston, the scary thing about Boston is the 3-point game. Now the Knicks, I'm not saying they can't have the 3-point game because they clearly have the 3-point game. But what I mean by that, it's like the reminder of like the Warriors when they start shooting threes. It's like that kind of game. You know, there's just different levels, and they don't play long minutes. They do not play long minutes. I mean, like Jason Tatum takes quarters off. You know what I'm saying? And they're still winning games. So that's the thing. Imagine if it comes down to a crucial moment where
they better win tomorrow. They better win tomorrow.
They better win tomorrow.
Where
Boston has to really play its lights out. I see the New York Knicks getting drained in those moments because of the fact that they are taking it to they're going to take it to the wire.
I think I disagree there. I disagree. And the reason I disagree is because the Celtics predominantly need to have Tatum and Brown play well together in order for them to win, right? That's what they need. If one of them plays off or slightly off or doesn't have a 20, 25-point game together and they're not scoring 50, they're out. I mean, look at what happened last time.
I don't think so, because if you look at Kristoff will probably be back before the Knicks. Before the Knicks are back.
You're just overlooking the C's right now. And I mean the Cavs right now. What I'm saying is, this is Boston every year. We talk about how good they are. They go up against this team. If they're so good, they should be doing what the Knicks are doing right now, okay? They should be up 2-0 because that's what you do when you're the better team. You don't let teams hang around. That's why I'm saying it's crucial for Boston to win Game 3. Absolutely.
We're gonna get into this game right now. But what I will say in that is Boston this season has been getting swept at times. They have that one game where they just, they win in regular season, and they have that one game where people's like, how did you let that team beat you? What I'm saying in that is, I want to ask the question to Nomits and to Adam. How does the Knicks do playing from behind? Because they're going to be playing from behind in mostly every game. Unless you get really hot like the Cavaliers did, like the Miami Heat did that one game, like the Cavaliers did in Game 2. They get really hot, they get a lead, and they keep on going. Because if Boston has the lead, they ain't giving it up, like especially in this playoffs. But before even we talk about that, let's get back to Boston versus Cavaliers. And I'm gonna let Mac be. I'm sorry, I'm gonna let Adam begin on this one.
The Knicks are 5-0. In this playoffs, during these playoffs, when they're trailing at halftime. They were trailing at halftime tonight. They were trailing at halftime in Game 2.
I guess he just answered your question.
Thank you for answering that question.
This team has the fight, man.
You said it right there. This team has the fight. They're gonna give it the fight, but I truly believe they're gonna lose energy going against a team like Boston. But go right ahead, Adam.
Boston doesn't allow them to lose energy because they're not physical. Okay, the reason you see what the reason why the Knicks come back in games, they play defense. That's what they do. They're relentless on the offensive rebounding. They clean up the glass. If you look at what they do in these games, they've outworked and out-hustled teams on the boards, and that's what.
Okay, I feel what you guys are saying, but Miami had the best defense in the league, one of the best defenses in the league, one of the best zones in the league this year. And it didn't even matter. It didn't matter, guys. It did not matter.
I'm telling you right now. They're going to be out. You're underestimating how good the next team is and the way that they're playing.
Boston to 7.
Wait.
I didn't say underestimating them.
first off, this Cleveland team, I keep saying right now, they're a sneaky team. They've got nothing to lose. They're not supposed to win, and they've already did what they've already have home court advantage right now, right? Because they tied up the series.
They
So
stole the game, absolutely.
my point is, the Boston now has to tie up a game and can't get behind and have to work their way back. Because to me, Boston last year we were saying the same thing about Boston. They're actually a better team, and they ended up choking when it mattered most. And in order to, for me, when I see what the Knicks can do, defense always gets you back in games. This Knicks team was down like 10 points at one point or 12 points at one point, and in a blink of an eye, we're back in the game because of a couple turnovers that they forced by the way that they played, by being up in guys' faces. Yes, will they run out of energy? Yes. If they get to the NBA Finals, they will have a tough time playing a team like OKC or Milwaukee, because those teams are young, they run, and they can get up and down the floor really fast. Boston is sometimes gets out of their own element when they try to play every type of ball. And I'm telling you right now, what I've noticed, the trend is if Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown aren't scoring 50 points together, they have trouble winning against teams. That's just what they do. And if Jason Tatum does not come through, and because Brown is consistently a 25-point scorer. That guy consistently outdoes himself in the playoffs. It's Tatum. That's the guy I worry about. I love the kid. I've touted the kid ever since I saw him a while back when I think they were in the NBA Finals at one point. I was like, this kid's going to be a superstar. He is a superstar. He needs to play like Jalen Brunson. Take the game over in the fourth quarter. Be the reason you're winning the basketball game. And that's exactly what Brunson did the last game in game 2. He scored 15 points in the fourth quarter alone, okay, to single-handedly keep his team in the game and win it. I need Brown to do that. And if he can do that, Boston's unstoppable. But until they prove to me that they can do that, I get worried. And I could be wrong. Maybe the Knicks don't go, you know?
Well, they like respectfully, the Knicks still got to get back to Pacers. Boston still got to get past the Cavaliers. And we all have our points on
everything. We know they both could collapse.
Absolutely. To move the show along, we can get back to this maybe at the end of talking about these games. But respectfully, we're going to talk about the Cavaliers versus Boston Celtics. Boston wins game 1. Cavaliers win game 2. Goes back to the Cavaliers Cleveland in game 3. Now you gotta give the Cavaliers credit for still in the game at Boston's home court, but it's weird that this season that Boston has been doing better on the road. That being said, they're going to have 2 games in Cleveland at the Cavaliers' home. Will Cleveland go out there and give that same energy that they did at the Gordon is the real question. They certainly have the roster to do it. The thing is the shots going to be landing the same way it is? One thing I do love about Boston,
are they in Cleveland?
They're going to be in Cleveland twice, and Boston is a good road team. The one thing that I respect about Boston this year is Adam is absolutely right on the fact that Tatum and Brown needs to put up points. But one thing I respected about Boston this year is they was able to do a lot with them not having good games. They were able to miss shot. Like I seen Boston miss a lot of shots and still come back and put up like 14 points in like 30 seconds. Go on like a 10 or 12 streak. And the Cavaliers, what they did in game 2 is they played good team ball. Mitchell just didn't go do Mitchell, and it wasn't just dependent on Mitchell. They played good team ball. When you play a team like Boston, if you don't play good team ball, if you don't play good team defense, Boston's just gonna wipe you out. If they're having a bad night, you can get lucky and you can abuse them and you can win the game. And if you play them physical, like maybe the Knicks can, or maybe we'll see what the Pacers are doing, then maybe. But at the end of the day, one thing that stuck out about it is good team basketball. So now that I'm moving to game 3, I want to get Adam's thoughts on it and then pass it over to Mac. It is going to be game 3 and game 4 in Cleveland. Go right ahead, Adam.
Well, I want to just touch on something you said. You said, will their shots drop? I think they will, because a lot of the role players, even the announcer said it last night for the Pacers, or the other night for the Pacers, the shots will drop for them at home. Well, if you look at what's happening in the Pacer game right now, A lot of the Euro players have scored points. That's why they're in these games. So why I worry for the Boston team is if they have a slight, yes, they play well on the road, but the Cavaliers are at home. That's when your role players play good. They don't have to do anything. You're going to see guys in this game that probably haven't had good games. The first 2 games have better games. That's just how they do it in the NBA. And a team like this can for example, now you have Donovan Mitchell. He's now playing at home in the playoffs against Boston. You don't think he's going to light it up? Yes, they are so much better on TNT. But the point is that I'm not counting out Cleveland just yet. I think they have the home court advantage. I think you're going to see the role players come through. They did what they need to do in Boston and split. Now the series is in their court. Now, if they lose this game, it's probably, I wouldn't say done. It'll probably go to game 7, but they need this. And I think you're going to see the Cavaliers steal game 3 here tomorrow night because they got momentum. They did what they needed to do. They split the game. Okay, now they're in their building.
Just get a rebound. That's all you guys got to do. I'm sorry, Adam.
And Mac, your turn.
Did you guys just see that? It was like 3 rebounds that they couldn't care.
Did they just take 3 points off the board for the Knicks?
I'm on delay, by the way, so my game is probably you guys probably 10 seconds faster than what I'm seeing. But
106, 103, 50 seconds ago.
Right, I'm at 55 right now.
106, 103 Pacers. But,
thank you for that.
You're about to be
definitely. No, definitely.
It's going to change. It's definitely changing.
You guys are the second seed for a reason, and I don't want anybody to make my point for Boston to get don't take that.
This is what you want a New York team to be. This is what a New York team to be.
Number 2 for a reason, absolutely. Go right ahead, Mac. What's your thoughts on Cleveland and Cavaliers? Oh, sorry. What's your thoughts on Cleveland and Boston? My bad. It's the same team.
Look. Oh my God, that was ridiculous. But Cleveland and Boston, man. Cleveland steals one in Boston. That's not a good look for this Boston Celtics team, man. Look, Boston, to me, they're the Dallas Cowboys of the NBA, man. They're just this team that every year want to keep
perfect
saying,
comparison.
Boston, Boston this, Boston that, Boston this. They're gonna do this, they're gonna do that, and what do they always do? They always choke. They always choke. They no matter what, this team just seems to fold. No matter what, I'm actually just kind of tired of hearing about them, man. Look, they got all the talent in the world. They should have a little more success than they seem to have, but it just doesn't seem to work out for this basketball.
They should have been in multiple finals and had a championship by now. Period.
Exactly. I mean, they have a very talented roster. I mean, top to bottom. I mean,
weren't they first last year?
I want to let Mac finish his point.
Absolutely. I'm pretty sure they were. I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure they were. But this team, they just can't get out of their own way, man. Like you said, Jason Tatum. Sometimes he has those nights where he's there. Sometimes he doesn't show up, and that's not what you're looking for a superstar, especially at this stage in the playoffs, in the postseason, man. You need these guys to show up each and every night, man. Like Michael Jordan did, walked out on that floor with a damn 100 and something degree temperature and went out and balled out of his damn mind. I mean, you need.
Don't bring that up.
You need that. You need that kind of tenacity, man.
Like you don't mean you don't
see that with this Boston Celtics.
you mean they're like a certain person who got carried out of the arena in San Antonio because they were cramping up? Is that what we were saying? They don't have the Oh man, I just love it. I love it. Sorry, I was a little jabbed there.
They don't have the moxie, but it looks like the Pacers. It looks like the Pacers are going to get this one, man. It looks like the Pacers are going to.
Not over yet. It's not over yet.
Game 3 victory,
not over yet. Mac, stop throwing the towel. 16 seconds.
I will say this. I do. I want to let.
What are you talking? Well, yeah, this is probably over now. It's probably over.
That's not done. Go ahead, Mac. My bad.
It's over.
No, I was just. Yeah, this game's over. This game's over. So shout out to Pacers getting winning the game coming up, showing up big, and getting a game 3 victory. But
That was a joke. It was a joke.
nonetheless,
No, that's-
I think you
yeah,
guys
I
are.
forgot what I was. Oh, go
I'm
ahead,
sorry. I'm
y'all.
sorry.
I'm sorry.
I want to respond so bad. All right, respect you. I respect you guys both, but I think you guys are forgetting that the nemesis. You guys are forgetting the nemesis, and I don't just bring up my
Who's
team
that?
to bring up my team, but the nemesis is the Miami Heat.
Oh my
2020
gosh.
Miami Heat versus Boston. Miami Heat represented as the conference finals. All right. If you look at 2021, that's the year that it was Atlanta and it was Milwaukee, and then Giannis got his trophy. If you look at 2022, Boston versus Miami Heat, obviously we couldn't get it done. Jimmy Butler misses that 3, could have gone in for that 2, doesn't even matter. He was Super Saiyan mode, don't even blame him. Boston goes to the finals. So that's 1 year. And then last year, us, Miami Heat. So Miami Heat and Boston, Miami Heat wins last year, and I just read the rest. So it goes Miami Heat, Bucks, Boston Celtics, Miami Heat. The thing is, we, Miami Heat, are the team that Boston is just the rivalry bet when it comes to the playoffs over the past couple of seasons, because truly it should always be Milwaukee. But Giannis gets injured in playoff time every effing year. That being said, Boston this year, if you look at over the past couple of years, we Boston this year has one of the best records, and they're actually proving it. So with the additions, they bought their team this year, and they proved it getting 65 wins, and they proved it in the playoffs. And I don't care what anybody says, with Butler being out, with Rozier being out, we played tough. We played damn near tough, and it didn't matter, bro. It didn't even matter, bro. We took the 76ers down to the wire. Jimmy Butler gets hurt.
All right, we're talking about the Boston
lose that
Celtics.
game.
I get it.
No. Let me land the plane. It's all gonna come back around. The Knicks is a good team, but they played a Sixers team with Harris not showing up, with Maxey really have to carry, with an injured Embiid. Now they're playing a Pacers team with Aaron that doesn't show up sometime, name court that shows up when he wants to. Come on, guys. Like, I'm not saying you guys, but I'm just, the way I see it is they don't really have a horde out yet. So when they have a really tough out, whether it be the Cavaliers roster or whether it be Boston Celtics roster, that's where I'm judging them. And I see them, they can take it to 7 against the Cavaliers. They can take it to 7 against the Boston Celtics, but nobody wanted to play the Miami Heat. You know what I'm saying? And Boston's buried us. You know what I'm saying? Cavaliers, nobody really wants to play the Cavaliers. Look at them, 95-120. Look at that 2 games. You can't, like Adam said, it really comes down to game 3, but it doesn't matter because the Miami Heat swept Boston by 20. They still didn't even matter. The next game, it didn't even matter. The shot was off. What I'm trying to say is, we'll
let
move
me ask
on.
you a question.
Yes, sir.
Let me ask you a question. What was Boston's home record? Were they a dominant team at home? Were they a dominant team?
The road team this year.
They're a road team, right?
Yes.
So right now you have a team that is at home, feeling themselves, beating a team in Boston, doing what they had to do. Boston doesn't play well at home, so all they have to do is win their games, hold serve, win a game in Boston, which they've already done, and you win the series. Series is in the Cavaliers' hands. My point is this: you talk all this, they beat this, Miami this, I don't care because they've done this year in and year out for the past 4 years.
They didn't buy their team last year. They bought their team this year. And so this year they bought their team, and it's showing in the playoffs. The Knicks are going right down to the wire against less competition.
We're talking about
the Knicks.
The Pacers aren't as bad.
Hey, look, let's talk about.
Not talking about Miami Heat.
The Knicks,
the Cavaliers, they blew
look at the
them
Knicks
out
right here tonight. The Knicks are a team right now. They play like a 7-8 man rotation every night.
Yes.
These guys these guys are playing 44 pretty much the whole damn game as far as their core players. The whole damn game. Let's talk about something we haven't even talked about tonight. Let's talk about something we haven't talked about at all and throughout the whole entire Knicks conversation. Because we've had Jalen Brunson, who's been hobbled throughout this whole game. It was a game time decision. We weren't even sure if he was going to play. Right, and then let's talk about the other big elephant in the room. OG Abbott, or whatever the hell his last name is. He didn't even fucking play. He didn't even play. And he is an absolute key component to what they do, especially offensively. And he didn't even play at all. And it took everything the Pacers had to still squeak out this win tonight in game 3 with a
Pacers are
hobble
not the
Jalen Brunson,
Cavaliers.
with no OG, no one's going to outwork
what
this
record?
New York Knicks team. No one
rank is the
is.
Pacers?
You're not. It's not going to happen. And it doesn't matter the Cleveland
I'm just saying-
Cavaliers, the Boston Celtics. No one's going to outwork this basketball team.
I'm just saying,
It's just not going to happen.
What seed is the Pacers?
6.
They're the 6th seed. And what
Yes,
seed is,
it's Tyrese, guys. It's Tyrese, and let's see if they show up tonight. That's what I'm trying to tell you
listen,
guys.
but game one, they had game 1, and they blew it because of the Knicks defense. In
the Knicks are
fourth
going to
quarter.
be. I have the Knicks beating the Pacers, guys, because what I'm saying is that the Pacers this year, it's Tyrese, and you guys going to show up. All right, you show up, we got a game. You guys don't show up, we got a game. That's the Cavaliers got a roster. Boston got a roster. The 76ers is damn near injured. Embiid just came off the couch, like sitting fucking months.
So what? Why are we? Why is
that a thing? Why is that a thing? Is because the long minutes. So when there's a game where Josh Hart and OG and the bench can't deliver, Brunson can't do it by himself. Because when Boston's bench comes down and lays up threes, the Knicks better play damn near perfect to beat teams like Boston.
But you got to understand, you hit threes because defenses leave you open. This team on the Knicks plays good defense. They don't allow you to get into your element. This Pacer team likes to run the floor. And in the first 2 games, the Pacers, when they would get their momentum, their defense of the Knicks would lock them down. I'm trying to make is
whoa.
Well, I'm just saying. We're talking about Boston and the Celtics and the Cavaliers.
Hold up,
and
guys,
you're like, they're not going to be able to beat the Celtics.
Everybody is just like so high on this fucking fantasy that the Knicks is just rolling through everybody. And what I'm trying to say is,
you're not from the New York area.
Hear me out. I said to my homie last night on the phone, I see Boston and Knicks. I see it going to game 7. That's not me disrespecting the Knicks right there. But what I'm trying to say is when it really comes down to the wire,
Boston has to get through Cavaliers.
Knicks got to get through the Pacers. But all I'm trying to say is when everybody is like easily dismissing like the Knicks can just roll over Boston, it's like, hold up, guys. That's why I'm defending Boston because you guys are talking like the Knicks play.
We said Boston Celtics will choke. That's different than getting steamrolled. Okay, when you choke, it means you're not performing to your level. That's what Boston has done. In the finals, where were they in the finals? They choked in the finals.
That's not the same team. That's what I'm trying to say.
Dude, you have the same 2 core guys.
I want to see the Knicks core guys. That's what I'm trying to say.
You have the same 2 core guys on this team.
Okay, what happens when Brunson has a bad game? That's what I'm saying. When you go against take Boston out of it. The Cavaliers versus the Knicks.
Averaging 40 points a game.
What happens when? Oh my God!
He didn't have a great game tonight.
I don't believe the 76ers had a good roster. What I'm trying to say is, I see the Cavaliers having
a way better. A good roster. Not really.
The Knicks the Knicks are a bomb team.
He's saying the Knicks are going to be worn out and they don't have the depth to hang with teams like Boston and the Cleveland Cavaliers because they have a deeper bench. And what I'm saying is the way that the Knicks play basketball is going to wear these guys out where they cannot keep doing it and keep jumping. The thing is, if you watch, I'm telling you, the Pacer game is exactly the game that we're talking about. Pacers like to run up and down the floor. They like to pass the ball. They like to get to the best, most ideal shot. And the Knicks in game 1, specifically, when the Pacers had come back and are storming to take the game over, somehow the Knicks get their hands up in the right place. They play defense. They don't give
Aaron Neesmith, a name for it. That's known household names, right? That's known household names out there, Gordon, right? That's what I'm saying. But you whatever. We can just move on. I just don't believe that the Pacers have a strong enough roster for the Knicks than the number 2 seed. They're gonna blow right through the Pacers and then actually deal with a real component like a Cleveland Cavaliers.
Okay,
like
fine. Then here's how it goes down. Let's pray. Let's pray that both the Knicks and Boston go down, so then this can play out in real time.
It will happen.
That's why I want to see. Let's see it play out in real time.
It'll be Boston versus Knicks. That's what's gonna happen.
And I say they'll go to the finals because I don't think I don't believe Boston is capable of playing a team like the Knicks in their bully ball, the way they do things.
Absolutely, and that's fair enough. And you have your opinion, and that's why we love premium takes. But let's on it back and let's get back to the Thunder versus the Mavericks. And I'm gonna let Max start this one off. What's your thoughts about?
I mean, Thunder are just. I think the Thunder still ultimately are going to come out on top. The Thunder are just to me, it's a superior team. I really still see the Thunder coming out the West, honestly, and that's really all I got, man. I don't really have much into specifics, but yeah, the Thunder they're just a very talented basketball team, and I know they slipped up a little bit in game 2, but I think they still come back and ultimately they'll take this series over and put Dallas away.
Absolutely. I'm gonna let Adam go, and then I'll give my take. Go right ahead, Adam.
I think OKC needs to steal one here. Whether or not they win Game 4, let's say they steal Game 3, and they don't win Game 4, they just need to keep home serve. That's what you need to do in the teams like this. And the Dallas Mavericks, this is what you pay your big stars for. Can Luka and Kyrie carry you over the top? I mean, if they play together, they're pretty good. They're hard to defend because they can both dribble. They're almost identically the same player. They both need the ball in their hands, and they kind of slow the game down a little bit because iso ball, or because they can do so much with it is the reason why you give them the ball. Now, if they play where they're both playing off each other, and you don't know who's getting the ball, or they're passing and assisting each other like they should, and obviously that takes a while to get chemistry, they're going to be pretty hard to beat, even with OKC and the firepower that they have. Like I said before, I think the OKC's young. They're here for a reason. You have to give them their lumps a little bit. They are a young team, being in first place in a tougher conference than I believe than the Eastern Conference is, in terms of just overall talent. What's going on now? Do I think do I think teams like Boston and Cleveland and I think the team that would not favor in the finals would be the Pacers. All the other 3 teams in the East could win some games, possibly even win it against the West. But I think the West has 2 teams right now that hopefully we'll see for a long time in Minnesota and OKC. It's, if you look at OKC, they build a lot of their team through the draft, which is hard to do in the NBA when you think about it, when they only have 2 draft picks and not a lot of roster spots. So I like teams like that. Now let's see if they do the smart thing and try to figure out how to keep these guys, because usually what happens is you look what OKC did back in the day when they had Harden, Durant, and Westbrook. They were in the finals and the conference finals every year, basically. They went to the playoffs, they advanced, and then obviously the one year they lost in the finals they could not overcome, and they all broke up. And sometimes you want to see that play out, and I think James Harden's never been the same, Westbrook's never been the same, and Durant has been Durant. Yes, he's won his championships, but where do you really remember Kevin Durant? You remember him playing with OKC. Same with Westbrook and Harden when they were really at the tops of their games. But we'll see what happens. This is the NBA. Trades happen, things happen. But I'm excited to watch the player you have on the screen. Sorry. Let me.
Yeah, Alexander.
Yes, he's a very good player.
Hey.
He's averaging 30 points a game, which is pretty insane. He's the new all-star of the league. I'm sure you're going to see him on every box, every shoe, every commercial. He already has a couple commercials out there right now. But it's good to see. I mean, this is what you want. The NBA, I think, is starting to really bring people back. And it's because you're letting them play. Like, for example, in the Pacer game, Obi Toppin, under the leg dunk in the middle of the game was something to behold. I jumped out of my seat because I was like, man, that was awesome. Like that's what I needed to see to get me fired up for the playoffs. And I think that's what this is doing. If I'm Adam Silver, I'm absolutely loving this. The game is starting to come back again. They're starting to forget. Like it's like the WWE. You're starting to forget about being in the Thunderdome or the Performance Center or that dome in 2020. You're starting to really see, hey, listen, that was a risky dunk, but it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. And that's what you want to see in the playoffs, man. There's been a lot of good dunks. People are not afraid this year to go to the rim, and that's what I like to see. I think that's why it's bringing guys like me and Mac back, because we're seeing guys get actually dunked on. We're not seeing them just take threes. We're seeing them get dunked on. Thank you, Nomads. It feels like the 90s again. You're damn right it does. That era of basketball probably was the golden era of basketball in terms of, when it peaked. When basketball was peaking, the 90s was it, baby.
Most definitely. Good takes, both of you guys. And I agree with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have a OKC Thunder if everything goes right. And Adam said experience, and that really does play a big factor in this. I have them beating out the Mavericks and whoever it be, and then making it to the finals, because this team is just built right. They play right, and it all goes through Shea and the chat and just everybody they have on their team, man. They're just a good functioning basketball team. And even when the bench comes out, like one guy can go down and it wouldn't even matter. Not like we want it to happen, but they have shown that it's just the next man up rotation, and it's just beautiful to watch. When you see a team like the Mavericks that has a superstar in Luca, that has a superstar in Kyrie, that really shouldn't even be on the same team together. They really need to start playing like a team. They can't be, hey, your turn and then here my turn and then your turn and then here my turn. The more they play like a team, they can win the game, but at the end of the day, they don't got role players. Luka and Kyrie can't do it alone. The Thunder is just way too talented. I don't see the Mavericks having the role players to get it done. So the Thunder should get it done, but nice still for the Mavericks. If the Mavericks win, I'll be shocked. Honestly, I see the Thunder probably. Maybe Mavericks still another game, but I honestly see the Thunder sweeping them out after this point. And let's get to the thing that I would say, I don't know about you guys, but I would say for me personally, I knew the Timberwolves had a roster. I mean, like all I wanted to see is Ant be the X factor and put this team together, and they're starting to play like they need to in the playoffs against the defending champion. I know I had Adam go. I had Matt go first and last one, so this one I'm gonna have Adam go because I know he's a Nuggets fan, and I think Nuggets still have an opportunity. Do not count the reigning defending champion out yet. Go right ahead, Matt. Adam. Alrighty, go right ahead, Mac. I don't think he's here.
I mean, it's a little bit shocking. I mean, to see Denver come out and drop the first two games at home the way they did, man. But like you said, you can't count this team out. The Joker, man, led by the Joker, man. That guy's triple double waiting to happen pretty much any night of the week. But this is something about this Minnesota team, man. They're just dogs, man. And they're out there doing some really big things, man. Anthony, damn, what the hell is that kid's name again?
Anthony Edwards.
Carl Anthony Towns.
Anthony
Call
Edwards.
Anthony Towns.
Anthony Edwards.
Anthony
That
Edwards
kid,
and
man,
Towns, yeah.
I mean, he's just him and oh man, with things he's been doing these first couple of games.
Ant-Man,
really
yeah,
special,
he's
man.
him, bro.
He definitely is, man. So I mean, like you said, I don't want to count the Denver Nuggets out, but they've dug themselves into a deep hole. And I mean, even the way this game 3 is starting out, man, right now, game 3 out here in Minnesota, they're not really, they're not really, they don't seem to be figuring it out. You know what I mean? They don't seem to be figuring this team out. And what they definitely can't afford to do is go down 3-0. They have to figure out a way to win this basketball game if they're seriously going to get back into this series, man. So
this is it for them. This is it.
Nefarious.
I think what happens with teams like the Nuggets, sometimes you win a championship, you have the bullseye on your back, and you have to play everybody's best shot. And I think you got these guys right now, these Timberwolves teams who are young, coming together. Took Carl Anthony Towns a long time to get to this place. So I'm glad that he stuck with this team. He could have probably left many times. I'm sure people have called up Minnesota saying, hey, is this guy available? I stuck with him. I got another guy they paired with him right now who's dominating the playoffs. Let's be real. Dominating. He had a 40-point game going into game one. He dropped 43, and then right now, last game he had 27. So I mean, this kid is becoming box office, and he's this is what I'm talking about. The playoffs are bringing stuff back. You're starting to see new superstars emerge, guys that you might be able to follow for the next decade. Okay, Anthony Edwards, the guy we just talked about in OKC, right? You got guys over in New York and Brunson who, are starting to hit their prime and their peak. You know what I'm saying? We're starting to see the changing of the guard finally happen, like we're going to see in the NFL soon, with all the quarterbacks that are going to come in to this new era. You're going to start to see guys that are going to come in and start to be the household names throughout the NBA. CJ Stroud is one of those guys. Anthony Edwards starting to become one of those guys. And let's hope that these guys can sustain it, because a lot of legends were built in the playoffs. Jason Richardson, people forget about that guy. He's not just dunk champion. He was a decent player, and he played a decent game in the Warriors when they won that game in 2006 when they were beat the Mavericks and did all this stuff and really kind of got OKC with Monte Ellis back on the map and stuff. So playoffs can do a lot of things for you, and I hope that these young teams can sustain it and get some championships out of it. Dang it, we want to see these guys cash in. Yep, it is changing of the card.
Absolutely facts on that. And I will say this, Anthony Edwards, he's been known about, he's super young, but this year he's actually taking it to the next level. And what Adam said, absolutely performing, only 22 years old. You got Tyrese right down the road. Well, not really down the road, but you got Tyrese that's young too with the Pacers. If you look at who just came in the league, with Victor, absolutely dominating. Already hit that 10,000 salary on DraftKings. Congratulations on Victor. But yeah, guys, we're gonna move it around and we're gonna spend the next part of the show talking about the Giants, the NFL, fun stuff like that. But before we do that, I do want to get Matt's prediction and, of course, Adam's prediction. Is it changed? Are you still gonna ride it out? I think you still can. We'll see what the Nuggets can not easily win this game, but the Nuggets can win this game and get back to the series easily.
Well, since the Nuggets are my choice, I'm going to have to ride it out for them till the end. And until it's done, it's, not done, right? So
that is true.
For all we know, maybe they hit a three, who knows? All I'm saying is, I can't be that guy that switches it up and bails. Got to sink with the Titanic, go down with the ship. So that's what I'm doing. I went down with Milwaukee. I have to go down. I have to go down with Denver.
It's all good, but you can follow the Knicks, and that's a closer team that you can root for. And they've been playing good. They've been playing great. And I would say this. I mean, absolutely no, man. So you even see it. Me and Adam were just talking about this on the phone the other day. The way that the Thunder has built their roster through the draft, man, amazing.
I wouldn't say gross, but what it does is it allows you to have generations and keep the game going longer. Yes, it grows, but what I mean is like Anthony Edwards, if he plays good, he'll be the next guy for the next 10 years, right? Hopefully with more players seeing that, you get more talent across the board, as you're seeing in the NFL, and with all these schools opening up, there's guys with more eligibility. Maybe they'll take the Knicks model and say, "Hey, let's get teammates back together from college." And
if you think about it, Adam, we kind of already do. Think about, let's just take the old heads out of it, right? We'll take I don't know, LeBron, Curry, and KD, and Kawhi, and Paul George, and Harden. We'll just kind of throw them on the side. And then and Kyrie, we'll just throw him in that bucket.
Right, they're the back nine right now.
Yeah, and if you really think about it, man, we have your Lucas, your Giannis's of the world. You have your Tyrese, your Ants of the world. You have your Lloyd Marketing is going to emerge out of Utah. He's going to get better. You have your Shea Alexander over there in OKC. Should have won the MVP.
The
You
Pacer
know, you
kid
have
that we
your
were just talking
Devontae
about.
Mitchell. A lot of people are forgetting. I know he's wishy-washy, but Tatum is still young. Tatum is still young, so you have a lot of time. But I'm gonna say I can't change it because both of my teams are still in here, and you guys might not like it because I did pick both number one teams because I do believe both number one teams are meant to meet in the finals. They're just that good of teams, and hopefully they can ride it out. I'm gonna say the Thunder and the Celtics. I'm gonna ride on that. I made that since the beginning, and I'm gonna ride on that. Adam, who do you got?
I thought we already. Well, you mean
Nuggets and Knicks? Was that yours?
mine was Nuggets and Milwaukee, and they're both out.
Well, you have to replace your Milwaukee team now.
Oh well, I'm gonna go with the New York Knicks to the NBA Finals. They're gonna be the representative, and the West. I'm gonna have to stick with the Nuggets until their curtains on there. I know as a Net fan, you're not supposed to pick the other side, but hear me out, Net fans. We ain't got nothing to play for. We might as well just assume, we might as well just, just join the Knick team as one, and just call it New York basketball, right? And maybe the Nets can be the B squad, in the D League or something like that. Like they could call the New York minor leagues the New York Nets, right? So when they go to the G League, you're going down to the Nets team to play because that's how the Nets are right now, and I don't know whenever they'll be back. But I'm sorry, Net fans, but it's true.
Alrighty, and then we're gonna move over to Mac. Now I know Mac, the Lakers got eliminated, but LeBron and Anthony, they didn't really have role players, which they did, but I just want LeBron to make it past the first round one of these days. But go right ahead, Mac. Who do you got? Who's your replacement for the Lakers?
For the Lakers,
I think you picked the Lakers the first round, but now who do you pick?
Did
you
I
took the
actually
Lakers versus the Nuggets, didn't you?
thinking?
Am I wrong? Oh, yeah,
I don't think I did. I mean, I just can't imagine fixing my mouth to say that. But I don't know. Who knows? I could have been drunk that night. But I'm gonna go with the OKC. Like I just said, I think OKC still has what it takes. They just, like I said, it's a very talented team right now. Like, I mean, all across the board. I don't really see what's really truly going to stop that basketball team. OKC out west. And I'm just going with them hardworking Villanova Knicks in the East, man. Yeah, I said it, the Villanova Knicks, brother. That's what they are right now. That team is driven right now by the three core Villanova players on that roster. And I think they're just going to continue to keep doing what they're doing, man. That's just outworking and out hustling everybody they go against, man. And it's going to get them at least to the finals, I believe. So Knicks,
I love it. I love it. Knicks OKC. Alrighty, guys. I know that was a bit longer than usual, but it's okay. It's the playoffs, and it's a good playoffs. They're bringing back Mac and Adam to basketball, and that's what I love. That being said, though, I do want to touch on a few acquisitions, mostly Allen Robinson. What's your guys' thoughts on Allen Robinson now, a New York Giant? Maybe a camp body, maybe he makes the team. What's gonna happen? Go right ahead. Who wants to go first?
Listen, Allen Robinson. I will say this: Allen Robinson is the body type receiver that I was hoping the Giants would get. That's why I kind of wanted them to draft Rome Odunze a little bit when they were drafting Neighbors, because he's 6'3", 6'4" type of big body receiver that if you're still trying to develop a quarterback, you're 6. This is the type of guy you would want, is a guy that can go up and get a play and make a play for you. Because Neighbors, I love Neighbors, and think what he's going to do is fantastic. If he blows a tire, he doesn't have any other arsenal in his repertoire to beat you like a physical player like a Allen Robinson would have done in his prime. Now, I'm not saying Allen Robinson's going to do anything besides tie shoes, because or lace up some cleats.
It's gonna be the shoe sign, on the side.
Exactly, that's what he's going to do. He's going to be there, right? No separation, a QB that can't throw the ball. Well, I don't want to talk about the QB. He just makes me sick. But the point is, what I don't get about this move is, and I don't understand, You brought in McKenzie. You drafted a kid, Darius Slayton, who now wants to hold out. Allen Robinson, he's keeping your seat warm because Darius Slayton, that jackass, thinks he's done so much in the league that he can hold out for more money. Kick rocks, homeboy. We can get Allen Robinson in here and get the same fucking shitty production that you gave us. Like, what are we talking about here? The Giants are
Damn.
for the wrong reasons. The last thing I'll say, I'm just going to talk about the receiving core in general because Allen Robinson is not really like, while I'm excited about what could be, he's not really going to be other than it's like remember when we got Herman Moore? I remember Mac remembers this. Mac, remember we got Herman Moore, washed up Herman Moore,
God.
and we thought that he was going to be something like, oh man, Herman Moore. Like it wasn't like a Kenny Golladay signing. It was kind of like the Lions moved on and they're like, yeah, we'll sign this guy Herman Moore. He made like a catch in the preseason and everyone's like, woo, and then he didn't make the team. That's what this reminds me of. Like, you're going to sign Herman Moore. This is Allen Robinson. He's not really done anything, and I mean, he's probably there to mentor, I guess, Neighbors, who, by the way, already got in trouble for a bet. But go ahead, Mac.
If this were 3 years ago, I'd be like excited as hell. I'd be all about this signing. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, the year when we brought in Kenny Golladay, Allen Robinson was the guy I wanted the Giants to bring in. That was who I wanted the Giants to go out there and get, was Allen Robinson that year. Now, I'm sorry. This is just, okay, another wide receiver in the room you're going to have running around in training camp, and it's not going to mean much. I think no mess, no nest, no, just put it perfectly right here in the comments. Allen Robinson to me equals a non-factor for the New York Giants. I mean, I just don't see – I mean, maybe he can bring some experience to the room. You know what I mean? And yeah, he'll definitely bring experience to the room. And maybe he can help mentor some of these young guys. But if people are looking for Allen Robinson to come in here and have some kind of a serious impact, I mean, I'll take you back. Allen, when he went to the Rams, I mean, remember what he did there? Oh, no, I don't either. I don't remember what he did there either. He did not a goddamn thing. And
oh, man.
What do you think we're getting here? We're not getting.
And he had Matthew Stafford.
Chicago Bears Allen Robinson. Yeah, we're not getting Chicago Bears Allen Robinson. We're not getting the guy that played in Jacksonville. We're getting
the guy who should be selling insurance right now.
Yeah, that's what we're getting at. I mean, he's not. I just don't know what people are expecting from this signing. Why people even are remotely excited at all about it. I just don't. I don't.
Let's talk about expectations, because expectations got me in trouble on Twitter this week. Okay, expectations got me in people in their feelings because I put quote unquote expectations on a certain number 6 overall pick. So this is how it went down. Okay, I'm on Twitter in a space. I said I expect, and this is kind of an overachievement. Malik Neighbors to get 1,500 yards. They're like, oh, what are you talking about? That is crazy. Why would you expect that? That's putting too much pressure on the kid. I said, dude, you drafted that kid 6th overall. He should be a Hall of Fame player in the top 10. Why wouldn't I want to put him at 6? Well, no one's done that. I said, yeah, well, Puka Nacua did it. He was a 6th pick. Oh, well, they had a plan for him. No, if you draft a guy in the top fucking 10 pick, you think that guy's going to have a gold jacket. And yes, do I think 1,500 yards is way too high? I do. That's why I'm putting that on them, because I also think the Giants get to the NFC Championship game. That expectation is not reality. The expectation is the NFC Championship game. The expectation is 1,500 yards, right? Let me break it down for you. All right, let me break it down. Close your eyes for a minute. You walk into 7-Eleven. All right? You're trying to buy the lottery ticket for the Mega Millions. You don't expect to lose when you get the lottery ticket. Why would you play? You expect to win the millions of dollars. That's what the fuck you do. You go to the casino. You don't expect to lose money. The reality is you're probably going to lose money. Your expectation is, I'm going to fucking take the casino for everything it's worth, right? I'm going to get this scratch off, and I'm going to win the Mega Millions, and I'm going to buy yachts and boats and hoes and all that other bullshit that they say on TV. That's the grandiose expectation. Reality is you're probably having a scratch off, throw that shit in the fucking garbage, and being on with your merry way. Just like you go to the casino, you put your money in the slot machine, they take your fucking coins and bang, right? My point is, the reality of it is, and this is what Vegas is saying about Malik Neighbors, is that he's only going to get 850 yards, which I think is about 1,000 yards. That's a realistic expectation. My expectation for the kid in the top 6 should fucking be 1,500 yards. But I know he's not going to get 1,500 yards. But it shouldn't be this big thing like, oh, he shouldn't do it. When a guy like Jefferson was 100 yards away, when a guy like Puka Nacua did it. Now, if you want to tell me the quarterback play is the reason why those guys on those 2 specific teams got there, okay, we can have that debate. But if you're the top 6 player, I expect you to have some lofty goals. And yes, I'm putting them on there with the realization, people, that he's only probably going to land at like 900 or 1,000 yards. I get it. But yeah, do I expect 1,500 yards? I do. I don't really expect 1,500 yards is what I'm saying. I'm putting that on him because that's what you should expect. If you got a guy in the 6th round pick and you're expecting us to win games, he needs to be a beast.
What do you guys think? What do you guys think about the little wager Malik Neighbors and Jaden Daniels have going on about $10,000 wager they put about one on winning Rookie of the Year?
Already got in trouble for that.
Do you think either one of them will win Rookie of the Year? Given the team,
I honestly, it goes to Caleb Williams.
Well, I actually had that conversation too. I said that's what Malik Neighbors should be fighting for. He should be in the conversation. I said Puka Nacua was in the conversation. He didn't win because fucking C.J. Stroud had a year to remember. Now, the reason why Malik Neighbors won't win it is because there's 4 other guys in front of him in Drake May, Marvin Harrison, Jaden Daniels, and Caleb Williams, who are all probably going to be the consensus sexy choices going forward. Probably Caleb Williams, depending on what the Bears' record is. If Jaden Daniels happens to get to the playoffs and the Bears don't, that could alter it a little bit.
I wouldn't even rule out JJ in that conversation as well with the Vikings, Addison and Jefferson.
Right. I mean, he could be. I mean, if they go to the playoffs and they have a good year, maybe that's him. So my point is, in order for Malik Neighbors to make that, like, look, Malik Neighbors is drafted 6th overall. I expect huge things from this kid. Yes, do I expect him out the gate? I do, because I'm not expecting a 6th overall pick to just kind of meander around. You need to be box office. Whether that translates into wins for the Giants, I have no fucking idea.
This is what I do love though. That kid's a dog, and I know we all know that, but like that hashtag, like when you see like
off the table.
Yeah, when you see like Jefferson and when you see like Chase go on Instagram, they have that type of wide receiver type shit. You know what I'm saying? That like that fraternity outside of LSU, for them to still like to have that, like, you can tell that kid. You can tell the kid has ambition, and he is gonna be great. He is gonna be a dog. And what I'm happy for is he's 20, about to be 21. By the time he's 22 or 23, we could have a whole new quarterback here. So that's what I'm super excited about. And the thing about Daniel Jones is you don't have to do that much. You don't have to do that much. You just throw the ball to 10 yards, and then he takes it 50, and then you get credited for 60. So, with that being said, though,
that only works so far.
That only works so far. Absolutely.
The defense is going to catch on real quick. Let me say something about the quarterback position, which I think is funny. And another head-scratching thing that the Giants did. The Giants got a quarterback.
Want to bring up another topic after that, but go ahead.
The Giants brought this quarterback in, Nathan Rourke, from the Patriots. If you're not familiar with him, go look him up. He played with the Patriots. He played in the CFL, actually threw for pretty decent yardage in the CFL, which actually is pretty interesting when you think about it, because the CFL only has 3 downs. Their field's a little wider. They do little quirky things, so that the chances of you putting up good numbers in a league like that are hard. So he put up a decent season. They're not saying he's going to usurp Daniel, although I wish he would, because I would rather see Nathan Rourke play than fucking Daniel Jones. I mean, I'm just saying. I'm just saying, bro. I'm not saying to start him. I'm just saying. I just want to see something new. I just want to see something new. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right? I mean, like, he should practice.
DeVito's not gone. What this is doing? No. What the odd part about this transaction was it was a waiver claim. It wasn't like they brought in somebody from the vet minimum or they signed the kid from the workout that they're having over the weekend right now. They brought in this guy or waiver claim, which means, if you're not familiar with the waiver claims, is right now it goes by draft order. Right, so it would technically be the Panthers, then the Commanders, and the Patriots, and
Alex in the house. What's up?
Arizona, and then LA, and then the Giants. Right, and so obviously, most of those teams aren't putting in a waiver claim for a quarterback because a few of them already have them, right? I heard Atlanta put in a waiver claim for this guy, but because the Giants sucked, the Giants were awarded the player, not Atlanta. So I don't understand why they would do that. Do they see something in this guy? Because when you're putting in a waiver claim, you're taking on the guy's contract. You have to sign him to the active roster and all that. So I know it's in the offseason now, but it just was an odd way of acquiring what's supposed to be a camp body at this point. So I do believe this kid has a chance to stick and beat out like a kid named DeVito just because of his experience in the CFL. So I'm intrigued to watch his career. I'm team Drew Lock. I'm in lock it up mode. Lock should be my number one QB. Like I said, I've seen enough of Daniel Jones that if this season goes, if this team comes out the gate 1-3, 0-4, put in Drew Lock. Just put in Drew Lock and let me see what you got.
Absolutely, and I do believe that Daniel is not. He didn't pass all his tests to get on the field just yet. So let's see what happens with that. If Luck's going to start the season, then give the job back.
That already had a setback.
Remy Daniels will, I don't know what's going to happen there, but I would, if a gun to my head, and if someone would say, does Daniel play all games this season? I'm going to say no on that factor. That being said, guys, we are going to move along with our Giants conversation, and some will say a legend comes back, and I would call him a legend too, man. He helped the Giants get to 2 Super Bowls. He comes back as a senior scout. So Giants legend Chris Snee returns as a senior scout. Let's talk about it. What's your guys' thoughts on that? Before you guys do, I do want to say started 141 games, played 141 games, won 2 Super Bowls with the Giants. He's a first-team All-Pro in 2008. He's a second-team All-Pro in 2009 and 2010. He's a third-time Pro Bowler, and he's in the Giants Ring of Honor. He's back. As I didn't memorize all of that. I don't know him that great. I'm reading it off of his Wikipedia. And that being said, guys, he comes back as a senior scout. So what you guys think about this decision?
He's probably doing it to Charles Tisch got promoted too. That was pretty funny. But the Giants, it's typical Giants stuff. I think he wants to be like Dan Morgan of the Panthers, who was, if no one knows Dan Morgan, who's a great linebacker. Well, I shouldn't say great, good linebacker for Miami. Played with the Panthers, was kind of like their Luke Kuechly, but had a lot of concussions. So ended his career pretty early. He went through the ranks kind of similarly as a scout, and now he's their GM.
Why do we care?
Right. I don't really care. I don't really care either. Like, who gives a
topic
shit?
Because it happened today and with Giants fans. That's why we're talking about it.
Well, to be honest, it's like hiring like Eli Manning's in the building. What are we going to bring back the entire 2011 team and give them office administrative jobs and hope that their aura matriculates down to the field? Yes. But like, hey man, because let me tell you something right now. Eli Manning's in the building right now hasn't helped Daniel Jones do a damn thing. Okay, so
Eli Manning has a great show now. He has a great show.
He has a great show, but guess what? He's in the building, and Dan Jones still sucks at quarterback. So it doesn't really mean much. I think it's good. I mean, if it was Tom Coughlin led Giants, it'd probably mean a little bit more. I think he's trying. Like I said, I think he's trying to be like Dan Morgan. Eventually, move up the ranks. I love it. I don't know how good. I mean, he was a good offensive lineman, but sometimes good players don't always make the greatest coaches and scouts.
Absolutely.
So we'll see how he pans out. Let's see what guys he. Hey, Chris Snee. Let me ask you a question. You played with a quarterback for 15 years. Go scout one of them. I don't need you to scout linemen. Go get me a fucking quarterback.
I love it. I will let Matt touch on it. I'm really touching it because it happened on May 10th, and today's May 10th, so it gives us something to talk about in this downtime of the NFL season. Go right ahead, Matt.
Chris Snee, one of my favorite players, all time, and I appreciate what he did, his service for the Giants over the years, man. But at the end of the day, like Adam said it best. I mean, you don't know if he can scout talent. We don't know if he can evaluate talent. Why am I going to be excited about this? I mean, yeah, sure, it's cool to have Chris Snee around.
Welcome to the front office, buddy.
Can pass some knowledge on to the offensive linemen that are.
Yes, sir.
That's really why they hired him.
That have been vastly underachieving. You know what I mean? Maybe that is a silver lining in all of this. That he can maybe be around these guys a little bit, but. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it's a wait and see thing type of thing, man. See, I mean, We'll see if he's good at his job or if he's not.
I love
I
it.
mean, we'll find out. We will definitely find
I mean,
out.
I don't know what he's been doing with the last couple of years.
At the end of
Maybe
the
he was
day.
a scout.
He was at Boston College
Yeah, I
as
mean,
an analyst in 2022 and 2003, and he was a scout for the Jacksonville Jaguars after his career with the Giants in 2019.
So since he does have some scouting experience with the Jaguars, which another Tom Coughlin led team down there, he got in the door with his father-in-law who was down in Jacksonville, gets to scout. I mean, look, the scouting, it's good for the Giants as a nostalgia purpose. Your roster building, but I'm almost sick of the Giants bringing back ex-Giants at this point. I'm
Yo, that
serious.
saying lives, but once a Giant, always a Giant. That's
once trash, it's always trash. They don't bring my trash back when it's trash, right? Like it's time to move on from some things, right? Like you have to, like Phil Simms. Do I want to bring him as a quarterback coach? Like what the fuck, man? Like, let's bring in the fucking Phil Simms. Bring him back as quarterback coach. You know what I'm saying? Like Harry Carson can be middle linebackers. Like not every fucking player, for the Giants needs to work there. You know what I mean? Eli Manning has a show on their thing. Sean O'Hara is on their fucking payroll. Howard Cross is on their fucking payroll. Jonathan Casillas is on their fucking payroll. Carl Banks is on their fucking payroll. Like, dude, I
Jeff
love
Bagel
it.
on that payroll?
Amani Toomer, fucking Jeff Beagles, Victor fucking Cruz. What are we talking about here? Speaking of, I mean, we bring once a Giant, always a Giant. You're gonna die a Giant. That's why this team never goes fucking forward. Give me a fucking Eagle or something. Give me a Cowboy or something. Give me something to change it the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? We got fucking Joe Shane. You know who his fucking mentor was? Bill fucking Parcells. Great fucking job, Bill. Wait till he was with this fucking asshole who drafts fucking, who says to me, you got to be fucking patient. You know what? Fuck you, Joe Shane. Fuck you and hiring Christie. Fuck this organization for hiring everybody and their mother that's from the family. Hey, you need a job? Hey, I got one for you. You could be the fucking water boy. Hey, you need a fucking job? We need a new equipment manager. You're fucking hired. Hey, Kate Mara, you're done making movies. Great, we need a fucking cheerleader.
Gotta love a family-run business.
Get the fuck out of here with this shit. I'm just saying, all the time is the same. Look at what fucking Joe Shane did. It's the same shit that Dave Gettleman did. The same fucking shit to a T. To a fucking T. Oh, we want to win with the quarterback we have. Gold yellow jacket. Right? Guess what? We want to win with the quarterback we have. I like our quarterbacks. Draft Blake Neighbors. Here we are. The same fucking shit. And guess what? I'm going to go off on a little tangent right now. All these motherfuckers need to know that if you don't get to the game, right, you don't fucking win. We need to re-examine this shit because soon we're going to have fucking this is going to be the biggest coup de grace, okay? When they get Arch Manning here in this fucking building, that's what the fuck they're gonna do. They're gonna be like, you know what? We brought in Mr. Tish's uncle. We brought in fucking Christie. We're gonna bring in Eli Manning's daughters as fucking secretaries. And guess what? Arch Manning, you're fucking our quarterback. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna move heaven and earth to get this guy. That's what's gonna happen, man. That's what this fucking team is gonna do. That's what they like to do. They like to do shit. And they're going to keep doing shit because they want to be high-fiving you at the golf club rather than fucking winning fucking Super Bowls. That's what it seems like. It seems like John Mara wants to be like, hey, man, at least I'm not fucking tanking. Oh, I got 6 wins. Meanwhile, the fucking Commanders are laughing at him while they draft a quarterback and run laps around us. That's what I'm tired of this organization. Get your heads out of your fucking asses and start winning. I'm sorry.
All right, quick update.
45.
Game 3, Nuggets Wolves, man. Game 3, Nuggets Wolves. Halfway point in the second quarter. The Denver Nuggets have busted this game wide open, up by 18 right now. 45-27, Denver Nuggets.
Well said. That being said, guys, I'm gonna let you guys. I'm gonna open the mic. I'm gonna let you guys talk Giants, whatever categories you guys have to talk about. If you guys want to talk about the NFL, I'm gonna ask you guys a question. Early predictions. I mean, like really early predictions. But outside of don't give me the Chiefs, guys. Please don't give me the Chiefs. But outside of like the teams like the Chiefs, the usual teams. I'm gonna phrase this way. What is your guys' dark horse Super Bowl pick for not even Super Bowl pick, just a good team that is gonna make the playoffs in the AFC and the NFC. Mac, I want you to go first.
Um,
I put him on the
from
spot,
just
guys. We didn't plan this subject.
looking at things on paper,
On paper, yes.
and this is like I don't have anything else to really go off of.
Yeah, but just on the spot. Here.
I think watch out for them Chicago Bears, man.
Yes, sir.
Watch out for the Chicago Bears to make a little bit of noise out here this year, man. I mean that team offensively looks like they're a juggernaut. Could be a potential juggernaut offensively, man. And defense can only get a little better, can only get a little better. But they look like they can do some special things on the offensive side of that football. They got the receivers, they got a running back, you hope they think they got the quarterback now. This team that could be a dangerous team out there. I mean, it's in a tough division with some very talented competition. I mean, if JJ McCarthy pans out, Minnesota will definitely be back in the mix. We know what the Detroit Lions are right now. They're a team that's set up to be a powerhouse for years to come. But I think Chicago Bears, man, can make some serious noise. That's going to be a fun division to keep an eye on, man, because it could be some really good potentially be some really good quarterback play in that NFC North this season, man, with two young guns also making in that division as well. Because I don't care what anybody says, Sam Darnold is not much resistance to JJ McCarthy, and I think we're going to see him a lot sooner than later. So
I love it. Any AFC team? You can think of. If not, it's all good. You can go to Adam.
The AFC, man.
I got one for
Tough
AFC. Cincinnati Bengals, my second favorite team. I am joining the Houday Nation because the Giants freaking stink. So if the Bengals come out and beat our ass because we're playing them this year with Joe Burrow healthy, that's my dark horse. I'm tired of seeing it, but the AFC North is going to have a representative in the Super Bowl. That is my prediction.
Yes, Adam, real fast. Mac did miss it. Adam gave 15% of his stock from the Giants to Cincinnati, and I gave 15% of my stock to Chicago Bears. So only 85% Giants fans this upcoming season. We got roasted by the chat, but do you want to give your stock to
why? Well, if Pittsburgh, wait, hold on.
I'm sorry, guys. I can't get jiggy with that. No matter what, even with bum ass Daniel Jones running out of the tunnel at quarterback, I gotta still give all 100% of my heart to the New York Football Giants. I just don't know any. I don't know any other way. I'm sorry. I don't know any other way to live my life.
We got roasted.
How is Cincinnati one of the obvious teams?
Defend your team, Adam.
I will. No Mets, no Jets. You picked the Pittsburgh Steelers who went to the playoffs last year with Mason Rudolph. The Cincinnati Bengals didn't. So a dark horse team would be a team that didn't go to the playoffs last year. Not an easy one that you already chose. They got Russell Wilson. So excuse me for picking the Cincinnati Bengals who didn't go to the playoffs last year. Okay.
I got a dark horse.
They are a playoff team, though.
I got a dark horse.
They were not in the playoffs last year.
I'm gonna go to the AFC South. I'm gonna go to the AFC South.
He's taking the Texans.
And I'm gonna go with the Indianapolis Colts, man.
A Colts.
AR-15 comes back. I think AR-15 comes out firing, man. Then he comes out firing, man. And the thing,
my dark horse.
That team also could
the Jaguars. How about that?
In the AFC South, man.
How about that? No Mets. How do you like that? I'll take Goldilocks and the three Bears down there. Fucking Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars going to the playoffs. How about that? Who Duval? That's right.
I love it.
And for the NFC side, none of you are going to like this. I got two dark horses on the NFC side. One is the Atlanta Falcons, okay? The other one is in our division, the Commanders. That's right. I said it. The Washington Commanders will be fighting for the playoffs this year.
They did certainly improve on
May 10th. Write that down. If the Washington Commanders get to the playoffs, I want to fucking replay this fucking... I want Mac to clip this shit. That's what.
Yeah, I love it. I got two teams for the World Conferences too. No Mets took it right out of my mouth, and I know they made the playoffs last year too. But I think they're due to make a longer run in the playoffs, and I know Mike Tomlin has been getting shit talked by the media, which I don't get. I get it. You don't make the Super Bowl every year, and you coach there forever. You should be in my championship games at least. But man, he plays for the AFC. Cut this man a break. He always has a winning record, and I think they actually have the defense to go for it. It just comes down to the quarterback play. I still don't know what's going to happen. I know it's probably going to be Russell Wilson, but what if Russell Wilson doesn't look good? Does Justin Fields goes out there? So that one thing that does concern me about the Pittsburgh. Another team, Mac mentioned, I do think the Colts really have a strong out this year. I mean, like they have an improved roster. I think AR-15 was about to break records last year before his injury, and that just cost him. And next minute, everybody's talking about CJ Stroud, and it's like, hey, hold up, guys. I know there's all these new quarterbacks in CJ Stroud, but I'm AR-15, and I was off to a pretty great start before those concussions. So I do think the Colts, if their defense holds
shoulder muscle,
shoulder as well, absolutely. Then obviously, guys, I'm biased. You guys know I'm a follow his career. I'm a big Caleb Williams fans. What can I say? It's gonna be the Bears and the Falcons. Both the guys mentioned those teams. The Falcons just because they have a roster to compete right now in both the offense and the defense. Comes down to the quarterback player at Kirk Cousins, and I think Kirk Cousins is the perfect guy to get it done. I don't want to hear Falcons fans screaming panics. Let Kirk Cousins cook, because Kirk Cousins is going to cook with that roster. And then when it comes down to Chicago Bears, it also comes down to the quarterback, and if their defense can play the level that they did last year. Yeah, last year there was in a top 10 in a lot of categories and top 5 in some categories. That defense was a really good defense last year, and they didn't really lose that much players. And if you look at who they added on the offensive side of the ball, they have a dynamic running back, they have dynamic receivers, they bring in a young receiver in Rome, and then they bring in a young, I mean, like this guy is literally, I said it, I've been saying it for a long time, Patrick Mahomes 2.0, and I can't wait for Patrick Mahomes and Caleb Williams battles in Super Bowls to come up in years. It's going to be fun to watch. I'm telling you guys, this guy is watching every single snap of his career. Well, I lied. I didn't really watch I watched some games at Oklahoma, but not all of it. But watching every single snap as a Trojan, this guy is definitely going to be fun to watch. And he's going to look like grown man is going to be chasing him, and he's not going to be there. That being said, hopefully they can protect him and keep him healthy, and he can have a great season. Go right ahead, Adam. I'm pretty much done with that.
Before we log it off.
Absolutely.
Back. I'm telling you, join our investment club, okay? The 15% investment club. You will not lose your money. I'm telling you.
That is coming back when we get a quarterback, Matt. We're giving it back to them.
Exactly. Right now, we're just investing our money a little bit elsewhere and letting it matriculate, so it's not a total loss.
One stock, man.
Right, exactly. So it's not a total loss. Listen. When the quarterback comes back, I will 100% lose my house when we do this. But right now, I need a place to live. I'm just investing in a little offshore property over here, a little offshore property.
Joe Burrow could win the Super Bowl this year, Adam.
Exactly. Joe Burrow wins the Super Bowl. I'm happy. Giants kick Daniel Jones to the curb. I'm happy. And boom, I'm back. If they don't,
celebrate,
the longer Daniel is there, and the higher the percentage goes to the other team. Because guess what? Right now, how can I explain to my sons that our team is booty? Okay, the team is the worst in the last decade. When you have the Eagles who are already chirping and ready to go, you have the Cowboys who don't respect us, you have the Commanders who actually look like a competent team, and we have our heads so far up our ass we don't know where we begin or end. Okay, so it's just one of those things where I'm like, listen, I've been a Giant fan and I've consumed enough, and at some point I've got to be like, all right, man, if you're not going to do right by me, I'm not going to do right by you. So I'm going to take a step back, take the bird's eye view. Will I be a Giant fan? Yes. Am I going to put them on Sundays? Most likely. But will I keep a rooting interest on what Cincinnati does? Of course I will. And when they play us, I will have 2 dogs in the fight. Whatever happens, Adam wins on either. Exactly. Adam wins. Adam wins. Awesome. So listen, I know that's why I pitched to Mac. You may not want to sign on the dotted line, but here at AC and LLC, AC and Zion LLC, right? We are here to get you money back. We are here to get you a return, some happiness on your Sundays. Will you join us?
You ever woke up on the Sunday and felt depressed? Felt like you just wasn't living life.
Your team letting you down. Your quarterback not giving you what you deserve. Join AC and ZZ, right? LLC for you. We'll give you 15% in any team that's winning. So you don't have to go broke on Sundays. You don't want to sit there with your thumb up your ass while you wait for your team to win. You have the Bengals who are playing for the playoffs.
You know how much Detroit Lions fans died before they got a championship?
Exactly.
Yeah, but they weren't selling stock of their team. They just toughed it out.
Listen,
and that's
they
what
were watching Aaron Rodgers from
Jones.
afar. You know that shit. You know they were watching Aaron Rodgers from afar. Like, damn, I wish I had that guy. I hate getting beaten by him.
Oh,
but
sure
damn,
I'm sure they said they wish they had him.
Yes. Listen.
You know what I will say though? I will say this. You know, if they go next year and Daniel Jones has a bad season and they don't adjust the position, I'm putting another 10% and I'm buying a number 13 jersey.
If that happens,
Daniel Jones has a bad season.
I might have to pack up my bags and leave. I'm going to live on Quarterback Island by myself. Like, sorry, I'm done with this team. I'm going to take the flag. You know the flagpole on top of your house. You'll just see me changing the flag to a different color.
Man, oh man.
This is where it goes, people, on an off season. Listen, that's my rant for the evening. You know, we don't really have much else. I don't, at least.
I'm done here too. I'm gonna close it out. I'm gonna give the mic again, and we'll close it out. Let's get it.
Yeah, man. Wait. Before you close it out, are you signing on the dotted line with our LLC? We have to know.
I cannot.
Will you take our offer? Oh!
No matter what. No matter what.
Stay in, boy.
I'm true blue, baby. True blue, baby, right here. 100. This gets 100% of me. They get 100%, man. I can't do it. No matter what.
I love it. They give you a medium soda as well. A medium soda. That's what they feel about you. A medium soda.
I take my free can soda, whatever they want to give me. You know what I mean? I'll take it.
Here,
whatever.
And here's your product, Daniel Jones in a wheelchair. Here you go. Boom. We're rolling him out as quarterback. You Giant fans will eat him up. You'll still show up to the games. It won't matter.
Calling them Giant fans.
This is probably the longest consistent time period I watched us be absolutely sorry as shit through my lifetime as a fan. But at the end of the day, I know we got that bounce back, and eventually we're going to bounce back.
Hopefully,
and they're gonna have all of me, and I'm gonna say I weathered that storm for however many years it was, man. I'm a Giant fan for life. This is my favorite sports team, period. And I just can't. I can't look.
They are mine. They are mine too. Man. But they're not getting They're not getting a dime from me until I see a better product on the field and Daniel Jones on there. You know what? I'd rather buy a Joe Burrow jersey before I ever buy a fucking Giant. Jersey. Before I buy another Giant gear. They have to earn my money back. Because right now I pay and I get shit, and you're feeding me. You're trying to tell me that shit's flaming young. Like, hey man, don't look under the shit. Don't look what was cooked in. We don't need to worry about that shit. It's still good. You know we were still a sellout last year. We were still a fucking sellout. You know what John Mara's doing on top of his thing besides counting money? He's laughing at us like, I can roll Daniel Jones out here, put the shittiest product out here. The Giant fans will eat that shit up. That's what he's doing. And when you keep on feeding on, they're going to keep on doing it. We need to show up with bags on our head if they fucking suck this year. We need to boo this team. We need to let our voices be heard.
That is very true, no Madsen. It is.
He's right. He's right about that. I mean, we haven't been considered the dominant since the '80s. I mean, we won a couple Super Bowls, in the last.
Yeah, we were only won one championship in the '80s. We were good in the '80s. We built up. We got the one championship.
But we were good. But we won the one title. But we could have definitely, potentially, we were right.
It's always in conversations, right?
Just that Bears team was just, that Bears team was.
Listen, that Parcells team lasted what 10 years from 83 to almost 93. I mean, he didn't last 10 years, but that's 93 is the last time all those guys were kind of still together with the LTs and all that of the world. So good run, but we're run by a bunch of idiots who want to promote themselves from within, scratch their backside when they get a fucking top 10 pick, tell me to wait for fucking patience, give me a medium soda as they're crapping on my face and say, here you go, here's a great product. We're the New York fucking Giants. Where the fuck is the New York Giant pride?
I love
That's
it.
the,
I
you know
love
what it
back,
is?
man.
You know what it is? No Mets has
It'll
a
be back.
point. New York,
Yeah, definitely.
no Mets has a point. You know what the problem is? We're still living in the fucking 80s. That's the problem with this team, is the owner still thinks we're fucking the 80s. Well, we can do it this way.
But
Win
you
Super
know, in
Bowls.
all honesty, look at the Knicks. That's love for the city and what they're doing right now too. Number 2 in the conference. You know what I'm saying? Battling, gonna probably. I don't want to jinx them, but probably will be. You know, in the Eastern Finals. But that being said, I mean, like that. You know, yes, that pride is gonna come back, and yes, we are gonna get back to the promised land sooner. I don't think it's gonna take another 10 years. I honestly believe that.
Well,
But you know, as long. I mean, like FYI, me and Adam is clearly trolling. But what we mean by giving 15% is clearly just like I'm gonna be watching the Giants. Of course, that's my team till I die. 0-16, I'm still gonna be a fan for life. But you know, the Caleb Williams and the Bears, I'm gonna keep a close eye on because I think they're gonna be way funny to watch. You know what I'm saying? And so it can be said about other teams. But I do believe that a lot of the
I'm gonna go back to
expectations
that
that
comment.
absolutely, please do. I didn't want to skim over it. Go
Go
right
back to
ahead,
this
Matt.
comment. No, I'm sorry. Because this
You
is
can-
one of those conversations. This is a conversation I've had with many, many people who just seem to have this fucked up opinion, and it bothers me because
Mhm.
put some goddamn respect on Eli Manning's name. Eli Manning is the reason we won these Super Bowls. Granted, in 017,
2011
the
was a good
defense
one.
played phenomenal throughout that football game. They absolutely did. But when it came down to took a game-winning drive from Eli Manning. It absolutely did. And most quarterbacks in that situation, when the Patriots went up with a minute and something left to go in that damn game or whatever, 2 minutes, whatever, however much time was left to go in the damn game, and they went up with one up. How many quarterbacks would have went out there against the undefeated New England Patriots and been able to just have that kind of just and be that cool, calm, and still manage to take his lead his team down the field? Not many. Not many in
Not
that
many.
situation.
Nope.
Eli Manning is a special individual who does not get the credit he deserves. Everybody wants to shit on everything he ever did, and it's fucked up. And I actually get annoyed with it. People telling me Eli Manning was just a passenger on the bus. A passenger on the bus? He was driving the goddamn bus. Driving that motherfucker. He wasn't no passenger. And then don't get me started
The
on
49er game.
2011. Don't get me started. Don't get me
He should have been
started
MVP.
on that
Should
one.
have been MVP.
That pass to Manningham down the sideline, you can't put a pass any more perfect than that. And in given the situation, backed up against your own end zone, and that was in that situation
That was a
to
dime.
deliver a
That was a
pass
penny.
like that.
That was a penny.
I mean, give me a break. Give me a
crumb.
break. That whole entire playoff run from Eli Manning. That's what superstars are made of. That's what it's all about. And yet people want to say, oh, it was the defense. Oh, it was this. It was that. Everything but Eli Manning. It was Eli Manning. It was absolutely Eli Manning. Put some
people forget
respect
about
on that man's name.
people forget about that season. He had 4,900 yards. I mean, yes, 4,900 yards, almost 5,000 yards that season. Had like 9 comeback victories. Was playing out of his mind. Made an undrafted rookie free agent a household name. Okay, took Akeem Nicks to the next level. Okay. And in the playoffs, people forget the greatest pass I've ever seen was that to Manningham. One of the greatest games I ever seen was the game he played against the 49ers, where that man was under
My
siege.
favorite game all time.
Dude.
Under
Oh,
siege.
man. I
That
cried
guy's
at the end of that game.
That guy
I'll
was
say it.
pulling dirt. I said when that game was over, if you didn't believe in Eli Manning, the legend of Eli Manning was born right there. Like it was born in 2007, but the real Eli Manning you saw in that game, because he never wavered, he never cried, he never complained, he never did nothing. He just took beating after beating after beating after beating. Something that our quarterback right now would not have done. Our quarterback right now that we have under center wouldn't have been able to take that beat.
Daniel
Wouldn't have been able
Jones would not have survived that San Fran game. He wouldn't have survived that San Fran game. And not even just Daniel. No, a lot of quarterbacks wouldn't have survived that game.
Exactly.
Like you just said, Eli Manning was getting absolutely pummeled in that game. I mean, are you talking about Alshon Jeffries, all the other pass rushers they had?
Justin Smith was destroying them inside the middle.
Oh my God, it was insane. You just watch Eli Manning get up and pulling grass out of his helmet, his shoulder pads twisted all around, and all he was doing was getting back up and delivering darts, bro. Darts. I mean, that was just.
And it's the moments too. It's the moments, right? They get the ball back with a turnover, and he puts a dime in the back of the end zone for Mario Manningham. Okay, it's those type of things that we took for granted with Eli Manning that we were hoping to get from Daniel because he trained with David Cutcliffe, and David Cutcliffe blew, Eli Manning's flame up, and they made DJ look at this guy, right? We're still Eli Manning is a blessing and a curse to this franchise. While I love him, his legend is so big that it's cursed us because we're looking for the next Eli Manning instead of looking for the next good talent at quarterback, right? Drake May, this guy, he got to carry himself. Look, Aldon Smith was there, Justin Smith. They had a lot of good players. Not to mention their offense was good too. But just people need to look at that. That playoff run, you need to go back and watch every game he played. Against Atlanta, he was precision.
Atlanta?
Okay. Right? Then he went to the game against Green Bay. They played again. Didn't they play Green Bay again? 15-1. And he had Hail Mary play, in that game. And hit Knicks in stride where he bumps a tackle and runs for a touchdown. And then, of course, he then got better in the 49er game. And then, of course, he has one of the most epic moments in playoff history by throwing down the sideline to Mario Manningham. And the reason why it was such a great shot is because the defender could absolutely do nothing. Only Manningham, all he had to do was catch the ball. He didn't have to do anything else. Look at that game.
Just stuck his arms out, and the ball just dropped right in.
Exactly.
Just stuck his and the ball just dropped right in, perfect.
I liked 07 Super Bowl, but the defining Super Bowl for me was 2011. He got snubbed to the MVP because his name's Eli Manning, and
That's facts.
Oh yeah, Matty Ice didn't do anything that game.
He sure
But
did.
anyways, listen, we can go down memory lane. The Giants need another Canyon of Heroes trip. It probably won't be with the guy under center that we have now. Unfortunately, we have another year, probably or two, hopefully not 3, of this guy, Nathan Rourke, Drew Lock, hell, even Tommy DeVito. Anybody but DJ. That's my new mantra. Anybody but – because if we're going to lose, I'd rather lose with somebody else. Just let me see what it looks like with somebody else.
So DJ puts up 4,500 at him?
I have a better chance of having blonde hair and blue eyes than Daniel Jones getting fucking 4,500 yards. Shoot. My standard, my expectation, or a non-real expectation, is Baker Mayfield. If he's not putting up 4,028 touchdowns, sorry. Like I said, these are my expectations for the Giants. This is what I'll end it with. Okay, if Daniel Jones doesn't get anywhere near what Baker Mayfield got last year, I mean anywhere near. I'm not talking about combined rushing. I'm talking about passing. Because you're a fucking quarterback. That's what you do. You're off the team. If this team does not win the NFC Championship game, I look to fire the coach. With the coaching class that's coming out next year, with Belichick, Vrabel, Johnson that are still lurking, and that's not to mention other candidates that are coming through. Your ass is on the fire, big boy. You better fucking coach your fucking rear end off. Otherwise, you're going to be on the unemployment line. And lastly, the Giants need to figure this out. If they are really moving on from Daniel Jones, from reports all over, they're moved on from this guy. Whether they start him or not, I don't know. There's rumors about Drew Lock starting. There's rumors about this, that, and the other thing. Look, it's time to move on. If we are going to lose, make it a short leash. Say, listen, if we're 1-5 and we know we're not making the playoffs, don't worry about fucking Daniel Jones' feelings. Let's see DeVito. Let's see Rourke. Let's see Drew Lock. Let's see what we got. But that's all I got to say. Hopefully, y'all have a great weekend. I'm done speaking. I'm cool.
The QB power rankings came out, and Daniel Jones was number 32. Just put that.
Oh
in
yeah, I
perspective.
forgot to talk about that.
32. Yeah, Bo Nix, J.J. McCarthy, Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels,
So wait,
all ranked
seen that
above him. Hell, even
James
CJ.
above him?
See,
Get it.
I mean,
Oh, sorry,
Bryce Young was ranked ahead of Daniel Jones. Look, that's what the league thinks about Daniel Jones. But that's who we're rolling out there. That's who we're just gonna run that guy back out there. Rookies who haven't played a down a football in the NFL
They're healthy.
are being regarded taken in higher regard than Daniel Jones. Looked at in higher regard than Daniel Jones. Rookies who
I will
haven't
say
took
this,
a
though.
snap in the NFL.
To that comment, I hate
That's
people
just-
saying that. I hate people saying that was CBS, because here's the thing: CBS is a monster company, and yes, their sports shows ain't Fox Sports, ain't ESPN, ain't Pro Football Focus. But at the end of the day, they have a lot of beat writers, a lot of notable people that study the game of football. I go on CBS sometimes too. I know you guys control me, but at the end of the day, guys, it wasn't like fucking Ohio State. Like,
It wasn't the McDonald's football
mascots.
rankings. You know
what
what
I'm
I'm saying?
saying? It was the top six. It was a top six network in CBS, guys. You know, they own.
It was
they
the
own
Adam
Showtime,
Costas
they own
rankings.
Paramount. You know what I'm saying? That's CBS, guys. That's a major six broadcasting company. They get the same sources that Fox gets, that Pro Football gets, that the NFL gets, that ESPN gets.
I mean, the guy has 2 neck injuries and a knee injury. Why would I put him at number 1? Yay!
And that's absolutely right. Yeah, nobody really looks at that list like a scary list, and that is true on that.
You're
I'm not
disputing whether or
saying
not
it's
the guy's
the almighty
bad.
list, and I'm not even saying I totally agree with it, because I honestly don't think rookies that haven't played it down
That is
should
true.
ever be necessarily ranked above guys that have at least seen play in
But
the
it's
league.
what they
But
think.
at the end of the day, it's just the fact that that's how people view this guy, man, where they're anointing rookies who they haven't even taken a snap in the league. Bryce Young didn't do a damn thing last year. He did nothing last year, but yet they still think he's better than Daniel Jones too anyway. And he did nothing last year.
Listen,
Absolutely nothing.
If they could, they'd rank him 33rd behind Michael Penix Jr. You know what I'm saying?
All right, I'm gonna ask you guys. For me, honestly, in my honest reports, I put him at 24, 23, 24. Where do you put him, Matt? Because I don't think you can put him. Only because
technically I'm putting him above. I would put him above the rookies because they just haven't proven anything in the league yet. So I will put him above the rookies myself personally. So that's 4 guys right there.
I put him at 50.
I'd put him above Bryce Young. I'd put him above Bryce Young because Bryce Young did absolutely nothing last year. So I don't really know why they think he's just automatically better. But he did absolutely nothing. But then after that, it's like, I don't know. That's probably about it. So that's like what, 5 guys I put ahead that I got ahead that I would put below.
So you have
probably.
him on like 26, 27?
I have him at 54.
Yeah, something like that.
26, 27, and
Something
Adam don't even have him like as a
as
backup.
I would give it to him.
Adam don't even have a backup in the UFL. Like Daniel Jones wouldn't.
Exactly. He had the better chance of playing in the UFL.
They got Jacoby Brissett ranked above him. Jacoby Brissett is ranked ahead of Daniel Jones. Jacoby Brissett.
Where's Minshew at?
If Jacoby Brissett were here today, he'd be the best quarterback in the quarterback room right now, hands down. He'd take the job from Daniel Jones. That's why they couldn't get Jacoby Brissett. They took Drew Lock, who, if he fails, great job. And they bring in Nathan Rourke. Let's go, Nathan Rourke. Woo, CFL MVP, baby.
Gardner Minshew. They got Gardner Minshew.
Listen, all these guys are better than Daniel Jones.
Like, all of these guys.
They are. Except for the rookies. They're all better than Daniel Jones. Bryce Young just has a better name than Daniel Jones. That's why he got the job.
So we're going to give the rookies a season and then they'll be good?
Listen, if J.J. McCarthy and Bo Nix
I see at least 3 rookies having good years.
If J.J. McCarthy and Bo Nix both have better numbers than Daniel Jones, Joe Shane, your ass needs to be on the hot seat.
And you know what I wouldn't be surprised at? I wouldn't be surprised at that, Adam. I wouldn't be surprised if Sean Payton works Bo Nix and he comes with some magic.
I'm
not saying
Russell Wilson
magic, but
because he had 26 touchdowns last year. How
Like
about
Bo
that?
Nix has like 3,700 yards this first season, and like that's like around Daniel Jones numbers. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah.
With
Daniel
no
Jones.
receivers on
Daniel
Denver.
Jones has
Who's the
2,800
receivers on Denver?
because he
Let me
gets
ask you
benched
guys
after
that.
week 10 because he can't fucking he gets injured or something. I don't know. Daniel Jones. I've seen enough of that guy. You know, this is why I invested 15% in fucking the Bengals, because I want to watch good quarterback play, not bad quarterback play.
I mean, the career of Daniel Jones, 24 touchdown passes his rookie season, and he hasn't sniffed 20 touchdown passes since. He hasn't
He's
sniffed
Hasn't
22,
20
thrown one
33.
passes
He's
since.
22,
Oh, he's
33, and
passing.
1. We're talking about a loser. The guy's a fucking loser. You know how long it's going to take you to overcome being under 500? A lot. They'd have to win 16 games this year just for him to be above 500.
And you know what Eli was? He was a winner.
Who
It
cares?
is. No, I mean, we get it. It is.
The guy stinks.
But the
My
point
farts
is,
are
it's
better
just
than
the,
him.
it's just our point is, it's just the perception. It's just how people perceive Daniel Jones. I mean, it just goes a long way to show you how people
Yo,
perceive this
Adam,
guy.
can you do me a favor?
mean-
Can you just like write like a 30-minute roast of Daniel Jones?
Why is Herbert still being ranked in the top 10? Because he's better than fucking Daniel Jones. He's on a Subway commercial. God darn it.
I'm not saying that you. I'm not saying that you, Mets. I think a lot of people forget, like Herbert. A lot of the times, like you see Herbert with all these teammates, right? But if you look at his entire career at the Chargers, Keenan Allen was hurt a lot. Mike Williams was hurt a lot. You know, even there's a time
Just
that
watch the
Eckler
film.
wasn't
What are
there
you
too,
talking
right?
about?
So when you really look at Herbert, I mean, like the kid went out there and he competes. I think what knocks him is that game against Jacksonville. A lot of people look back at that playoff game against Jacksonville and kind of get that bad test, that bad taste in their mouth. But the kid performed with broken ribs. I mean, like this kid's clearly trying to be a winner. He has the perfect coach to take him to the next level with Jim. And you don't just come into the NFL and throw 5,000 yards. Like this kid is definitely talented.
If anything, they need to. You want to rank somebody? Rank Trevor Lawrence, because he hasn't been lived up to his potential yet. But the problem that I have with people who try to compare like Justin Herbert is like, you're not watching the film, right? His first year was a bad year, but he crushed the rookie record. I think he threw for like 5,000 yards or some shit.
Yep.
Okay, that's insane. Do we talk about a rookie getting 1,500 yards? This guy threw for 5,000. Nobody talks about it because the Chargers were fucking ass cheeks. Okay, that's what they
knock him because he hasn't won a playoff game. Like that's why they knock him.
You know, 2022 had 4,700 yards passing or some shit.
Yep.
Like, give me a break. Herbert should be ranked 15th. Yeah, well, I don't want to talk about it because I think after this year you're going to see a different Herbert. I guarantee you that. Right?
Hold on, Adam. I apologize. This is not at you, no Mets, because I hear a lot of other Giants fans and a lot of the media. Some people just don't respect Justin Herbert. If this doesn't tell you top 10 quarterback, like I don't know what does. Okay, outside of his record, I understand, but look at this. His first year, 4-3 with 31 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. All right, 5,000 with 38 touchdowns and 15 interceptions. 47. Look at that, guys. Like banged up and still putting up numbers, guys. 20-7. So 114 touchdowns in 42. Daniel Jones have 60 and 41 interceptions in 6 seasons. Daniel Jones has 60 touchdowns and 41 interceptions.
Go to the last season. What was last season's number, please?
All right, played 13 games, 31-34 passing yards with 20 touchdowns and 7 interceptions.
So he did 3,100 yards passing, 20 touchdowns, and how many interceptions?
7.
Okay, Daniel Jones did that in 16 games, and this guy did it in 13 because he was injured. Don't give it this bullshit. This guy played a mediocre year.
4 years, already 17,000 yards,
and he still had a better season than Daniel Jones did in his one mediocre season. I know. I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of people telling me that because if that were the Daniel Jones,
this is going to be good with Jim. Just watch.
If that guy was with Daniel, if that was Daniel Jones's numbers last year, everybody would be like, "Why the fuck are we trying to draft a quarterback? He had 20 touchdowns. Fuck you guys, all that shit." No, Put some respect on fucking
Yeah,
Herbert's name.
but here's the thing: his team was hurt last year as well, and he was hurt himself last year. No Mets, and if you can name me,
Good.
14
Welcome to the
quarterbacks,
island, no Mets. Welcome
if
to
you
the
can,
island.
if you can name me 14 quarterbacks, then absolutely. But for me myself, I'm not gonna tell you how to feel. If you can name 14 quarterbacks, I can't.
I
I
love
can't
Justin
name.
Herbert
I can't name
as
that
a
much
quarterback.
quarterbacks. That's why I put him in the top 10 because I think he's not in the top 5 yet, but he's certainly on the back half of the top 10, 8, 9, and 10. That's
Well,
why
we know the
Justin
list
Herbert.
is biased. The point
Absolutely.
is that Daniel Jones ranks in the bottom 5 of quarterbacks. That's what he is. Bottom 7.
And look at that, 38 times being sacked. That's just a much times that Daniel
yeah.
Jones gets sacked. And he puts up, what does he put up? Getting sacked just as much times as Daniel Jones. He puts up 47,000 yards, 25 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. But you know what they're going to tell you? They're going to tell you that he had receivers. But they're not going to tell you is Keenan Allen was, not on the field sometimes. Mike
They don't
Williams
give you that story.
They don't tell you
They
that.
don't do that. They don't do that. They look at the stats and then look at the roster and say
Who-
a lot of people
the
do
other
that.
receiver, I don't know. They've been mixing it up all these past 4 seasons. It's like people act like he has a legit receiving roster that he's out there. Like, watch what Jim does with this kid. And guess who went there?
Well,
Guess who went there, guys? My
not to
boys.
Not to mention
Brandon
last
Rice.
year. Wasn't Rashawn Slater out like the whole season last year?
Yeah, absolutely.
Best offensive lineman.
See, that's why I would
All
love to have been in
matter,
their
man.
position. I'd love to be in their position. You would have drafted Malik Neighbors and
Oh
you
no,
had
we
Justin
know,
Herbert?
man.
Are you
That's why I
kidding me?
said. That's why I said
Are
not
you-
at you. This is at Giants fans that really knock you. You didn't knock Justin Herbert. You just had your opinion on him. But this conversation is that Giants fans that's really like dogging Justin Herbert like through the mud. It's like, bro, this kid literally didn't really have a head coach. Like, look how bad his head coach was. Now he has a fucking head coach. Now let's see what this kid does. That's what I'm saying. That's at Giants fans dragging his name through the mud.
We put
You have
too many-
your
we put too
opinion
many
off the list,
excuses
and you have
on when
every right
players
for
are
that.
good. Yo. I'm just sick of
Absolutely,
this.
Adam.
I'm
Too
just
much
sick of this.
excuses.
I'm just sick of it because when a player is good, we always have to chop him down, no matter what it is, right? And then what happens is that player who gets chopped down because you don't like. Let's use food for example. Let's say you don't like fucking tomatoes, right? Anything that has to do with tomatoes, you're always going to hate, right? Like Justin Herbert has done nothing but ball out, but because his name is Justin Herbert, and people have some bias towards him, people can't see the forest through the trees. It's the same thing. Like the difference between Daniel Jones is he clearly stinks.
What would
We
Daniel
can see
Jones
it.
do with Stanley? What if
Nothing.
Stanley was Daniel Jones' coach?
My point is this, right?
Even-
If you put Justin Herbert on the Giants right now and he gave you those
Oh
numbers,
shit!
we'd be like, what are people talking about? Why are they not respecting us more? Why is his name not in the top 10 conversation? That's exactly what we would be doing if Justin Herbert was on this team, putting up those numbers. I'm just sick and tired of everyone giving me an excuse. Well, it's his teammates. It's this, it's that. Well, I see it all the time. I see guys like Garrett Wilson not reaching their full potential because their quarterback stinks. I see guys like Drake London not making 1,000 yards because their quarterbacks stink. That's what I see. Okay, you can't just tell me that these guys come in here and make everybody better. It's a two-way street, and you know who gets the accolades at the end of the night? It's the quarterback gets all the blame, and then he gets none of the fucking glory. And then when they're actually good, we don't want to praise him for being good because we want to chop him down and say he's not as good as this guy. Look at Dak Prescott. Look at Kirk Cousins. All we do is chop those motherfuckers down, right? And all they do is ball out.
Judge, you absolutely your facts on that one, no
You
man.
know?
He did have Judge. That's fair.
and
Well, I think Judge is a potential. I'm sorry, Adam, real quick, but I do think Joe Judge had a lot to do with Daniel Jones' lack of progression. I think Joe Judge came in there and really shook things up
Like
with
the
Daniel
kid?
Jones in a very negative way.
Yeah.
In a very negative way. I think I get it that you want to clean up the turnovers, but I think he made Daniel Jones a
he's
very
scared him.
gunshot. Daniel
scared him.
Jones seemed to have no problem throwing the ball down the field, all over the fucking field his rookie season. Yes, he had some turnover. He had a turnover issue, and I do get that. And you want to clean some of that up. But Joe Judge came in there, and I think he turned Daniel Jones to a complete check down Charlie, and Daniel Jones never looked back since, and that's what he is now.
That is so true.
I said the game number 1 against Pittsburgh, he threw a red zone interception. After that game, because he had 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, but that red zone interception cost them points and momentum in the game. And after that, that game to me, I thought Daniel Jones got neutered because what I think I heard in the building was if you turn the ball over, you're going to lose your job, right? So he basically heard everything. He heard all the mental people. And, Jason Garrett didn't do him any favors, but it's a two-way street. The reason why their offense sucked the way it did is because your personnel. I got to give Jason Garrett some credit on to was it really that offense that bad, or did he try to compensate because the quarterback became gun shy? And look where we are right now. 3 fucking coaches later, we're still asking the same fucking questions, and we get the same fucking answers from the same guy. And I think it's more of the guy than it is the coaching staff. And yes, did he not have it? Brian Daboll's come in here, and what has this guy improved? Not at all. He's been average at best. So you can only do so much with a guy like Daniel Jones, and I think, I want to see something else. I want to see Brian Daboll with somebody else before it's all said and done.
One thing I wanted to point out too is you guys are right on that. Even his yards per game, his yards per attempt. You know what I'm saying? Justin Herbert's best season was a 6.9, and that's Daniel Jones' best season is a 6.8 yards per.
The dude threw 5.7 last year.
Yeah, 5.7. People will say Malik Neighbors is gonna come and rise that up, but at the end of the day, we've seen enough. We've seen enough. He's our quarterback, obviously.
Look at those records: 3-9, 5-9, 4-7, 1-6, 9-6. I mean, look at that. His record is 22, 35, and 1. 22, 35, and 1. Do you realize he has to? If he goes 10-7, so that would be another 7 losses would put you at 43, and then you have 10 wins. You're at 32, so you're still 9 games behind winning. He's gonna have to go 16-0 before he's even a winning quarterback. That's what I mean. This guy it's over. We want to blame the coaching staff, but these guys are NFL players for a reason. You're a 6th overall pick. You shouldn't need as much coaching as somebody who, I don't know, maybe a Gardner Minshew who's a 6th round pick. That's what I'm telling you. Expectations are reality. I expect a quarterback in the top 6 to be Hall of Fame. That's what I expect. And what we're getting is mediocre play, and people are shoving it down our throats trying to tell us, he's going to be better than this. Well, guess what? 5.7 yards carry pass. I don't think that goes up. I don't think that goes up that much this year, because if you look at Tracy, the running back they got, if you look at Malik Neighbors that they got McKenzie, they got Wando Robinson. They're going to do a lot of yak. So I don't expect him to have. I don't expect him to have that deep of passing. Okay, I know I've talked a lot. Yeah. We got to end the show because I got to go.
That's how I am. Yeah, no, absolutely facts on that. And I will say this. You know what I'm saying? 11 games, 22 sacks, and still can't produce. And it doesn't matter about receivers. It's just everybody that has been defending him, been talking about the O-line sucks, the O-line sucks, the O-line sucks. 11 games, sacked 22 times, can't produce off of that. So we've seen enough already. Let's go right ahead, and I'm done here too, and we'll end it out. Go right ahead, Matt, back over to you. Thank you, Nomets.
Thanks again, everybody, tuning in, man, hanging out with the Horsemen, man, for a couple of hours. We chit-chat, a lot of NBA talk tonight, NFL talk, Giants talk. This is what we do on Premium Takes Podcast.
We went an extra 15 minutes.
Y'all coming through, hanging out. But we are going to end it here, and we'll be back with y'all next Friday night, man. Same bat time, same bat channels, man. Make sure y'all go hit that thumbs up, subscribe to all our channels. My channel, MacDaGiantsFan, Adam Costas' channel over at Adam Costas, and Zion Zenith's channel, man. Make sure y'all go hit that in the Hardcore Sports Network. Show some love, man. We out here grinding. We out here trying to do this damn thing. And like Zion said, the show going to just keep getting bigger and better. You know what I mean? We trying to get back to where we used to be. We used to have this thing cracking, man, and we're going to get it back there again one day. But definitely thank y'all for hanging out with us on this another Friday night, and we'll see y'all again next week. We are the Horsemen. Throw them 4s up for our guy, NYG Jeffy T, man. Always here with us, man. Always right here with us, man. This has been another episode of the Premium Takes Podcast.